All right, and welcome back, everybody. The last stream of the day for us here on the You're Welcome stream, brought to you by eBay with the Nights Before Christmas. Your hosts, Laz, and of course, Cuppa for Egg.
Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you reside from. Hope you're doing well. It's in a loaded weekend full of Valorant, and we are getting to that point where that 10k is not in the distance. It's like your next door neighbor, isn't it? And these teams, they can potentially be getting their hands on some big money. What's the deal, Laz? Where are we at?
Yeah, so it's going to be Gen G versus Xset. So very exciting matchup. And yeah, we're right down to the semifinals. So like you said, that prize pool getting closer and closer to the into the hands of the winners. But now this is going to be the big test. And Xset, they came up with a 2-1 just recently against the Knights. And now Gen G also having a bit of an interesting path as well. So I believe things are going to get started on Haven as well.
Talking of Xset, worthy mention, the Ladies CSGO team, they had a victory recently as well, I believe at the DreamHack Showdown. So, if the Xset team in the Valorant realm are going to be having that same kind of success, and hey, maybe there's some special drink they're drinking at the Xset camp, and it's what dreams are made of, apparently.
Yes, of course. And now you can see we are going to be having the agent selection come through. So it will be Gen G that should be on the attacking side, whereas now Xset will be starting on the defending side. And we have, of course, quite a few of the typical picks that you like to see, but Sean actually mixing it up a little bit, having the Phoenix as well, but the Sovas across the board, having a raise on the set of Aaron. And now just waiting to see on those final confirmations that'll be set through. And it almost looks like almost identical, pretty much, except for just the one agent off.
It's the raise and the Phoenix, the duelist element being the different one there, isn't it? So it's got some movement advantage with the raise blast packs. Maybe we've got a Flights in the server, who knows? If you haven't seen Flights, check out Flights on YouTube. Some really nifty raise tricks if that's your cup of tea. If it's not though, just stay in the server and let's check out what we've got going on. This is going to be a bigger, this is going to be the semi-finals. So literally a stone's throw away from the big leagues, and let's be honest, this is the big leagues, but the final round of the big leagues being the final, the semis here, both earned their position, and let's see what comes down in the punch-to-puncher pistol. Just to give you info as well, lads, 50% win rate for Xset on Haven, and for Gen G, it's just over 70% of their games that they've won. So on paper, Gen G, they've got the advantage here.
Yeah, and lots of experience with this squad as well. Like, not taking anything away, of course, from Xset, but Gen G, they've been pretty much a solidified core for a very, very long time with Sean, joining the roster a little bit later. But will be interesting to see what we'll have in store here with the Canadians. But now they're going to be pushing on through, getting in garage control already. Looks like their attention is going to be towards the garage play. And now it will be Aaron trying to make a bit of a stop, but that's not going to matter because it will be the blast pack that actually does find it. And now more problems ahead here for Gen G as they just collapse. And it's just leaving 2 members by them lonesome versus 5 remaining players here on the defense.
Absolutely crumbling they will be, and it's going to be a flawless round to start things off for Xset. I'm talking about 50-50. They flipped the coin. It's going to be heads. They guessed it was heads. They're taking the pistol, and flawless. Dude, that's not what we're expected to see first round against Gen G. I'm wondering where things will go from here. So Gen G, if you've been knocked back, you've been kicked in the stomach early on from that, not what you're going to be expecting, and being bamboozled on that kind of mental level, that's got to feel bad for Gen G, and looking to turn that around immediately.
Oh, this is a nice spot. Yes.
Yeah, it really does. But I mean, Gen G, they were just trying to be a little bit more aggressive, trying to just change the pace and just bringing the fight right to them. But instead, it actually just completely falls apart and it doesn't even work the way that they thought it would. But now it does look like Gen G, a bit of a save round, so no investment coming up out of here. But Pure going to be actually finding a play. Now that's going to be a double. Leaving now the spike going to be dropped. It is going to be attainable, but now really at this point, they're just looking for a frag. But it's not looking like that's going to even happen right now, Cuppa.
It's not just going to happen until, is it? They're on a drought, a frag drought. Ult to light, the burst to the head coming from the lonely member of Gen G. Jet picking up the burst, and 4 players will survive, rolling to round number 2, and confidence, right? So if you've got this far in a tournament, it does not matter what team you're coming up against. That's the mentality you got to have. And right now, Xset, they're trying to get in that pole position of like, okay, we're doing all right. had a good start to this. Let's keep the momentum going, but it is early days. And seeing at the economy right now, there's going to be the buy coming in from Gen G. Is that going to be the
That goes
difference
there.
maker that we've been waiting for?
This goes here.
Yeah, and this is always the interesting thing. I mean, this is the meta, right? So this is kind of that bonus round for Xset. Like, they're just going to keep using the weapons that they have. They're just going to try maybe something a little bit different, play a little bit more of an off angle maybe, or just a little bit more aggression. But well, actually will be Aaron to get this orb, so getting closer and closer to this ultimate. But this, like you said, this is a big test now for Gen G. They need to pick up this round because this is a full buy for them. They're down 2-0. They need something to get back to an even playing field, but time will be the essence of this point.
It definitely will be the essence. 10 players that are still alive, though, in the server. A minute and a bit ticking. And we always get the highlight of this because this is the slowness of the pace that's getting to things right now. As you work your way towards the semis, the finals, players, they're going to start to think about their decisions a little bit more. So those risky plays, is it worth risking it at this time? Probably not. And as you'll see, passive plays everywhere.
You got the Bucky in hand, the Cypher just on the other side of this wall, and you can even see Phoenix. That's going to be Sean just on the other side. He's using his camera, but they haven't expected him here yet. If he can pick up at least one frag, this is going to be a bonus. And like we said, this is a bonus round, so a little bit of a bait. The Raze is just throwing some nades, causing a little bit of damage and a little bit of noise, but now will be one, and that's going to almost be two, but Sean only takes him, so that is exactly what they needed, but it might not be enough. And now Gen G, they're falling apart, but now they've just completely fallen apart for Xset, so it's all just down to Weeded by himself on a 1-on-3, Spectre in hand, and he's just hoping for something.
Spraying and praying with the Spectre, and not agree spraying and praying. Precision aim is going to be coming in from Sean there. Not able to see his opponent, but somehow, some way, landing that nifty headshot, and that's going to get Gen G convincingly onto the scoreboard. 3 players surviving, and with that in mind, kind of effortless you did see there, and that's going to give you an idea of what to expect from Gen G going forward. If you've ever seen Gen G before, a lot of good aimers on that team, and they've been fragging for a while. They're no noobs, lads.
No strangers to the high level of competition, but now we'll be seeing what's going to come from Pure, because now the operator in hand, money is in the bank, and they're actually going to be very aggressive. So both him and the Omen are going to push down. Just going to see what they can find, and that's going to be Weeded to lead this charge, but he actually leads it by he is able to get the head of GMD, takes him down, and already losing a member so early on. Gen G, they're losing the Omen, so they've lost a little bit of smoke. They do have the Cloudburst for the Jet, but they lose that main source of utility and also the Paranoia, which is an amazing way to get flashes and just get into a site. But they're going to be able to get into the site with ease, no problems, but now it's all going to come down to the post-plant situation for them. The defense, they're completely all over the map, and they got them quite sandwiched in.
Gen G, they are stuck in the sandwich of the ham in between the bread, but they're very well tripping the tripwire as they came in. The drone is going to be countered as well, so somewhat good so far, 4 versus 4.
Oh, and that's a huge play from Sean. That's great. That's a double. That's able to pick that up. So slowing it down a little bit more. Pure trying to get the wallbang, but instead will pick up the Phantom now. Mikkel, that's going to be holding it. The shock darts just lining up onto the spike, but Quinn able to pick down another. And now it's just completely falling apart. Browndew by himself. He's not going to have enough time. He's just going to be looking for this frag. Get the heck out of there. And now Gen G, they've secured another round, making it to a 2-2.
I'm really liking what we're seeing from Gen G. The construction of these rounds and how they put the building blocks together to make it happen. Organized. There's no sense of chaos. If it is, it's organized chaos, and they're really making it look methodical, lads. Really appreciating that.
So it will be a bit of a force buy coming in from Xset. You can see just going to try to force and work around Brandew's weapons just to see what they can find. And not a bad call. I mean, it is 2-2. Go for a little bit of a risky play. Just burn that money, see what you can find, change up the plan. And speaking of changing up the plan, it actually does look like Gen G putting a little bit more attention now towards A, where we haven't seen that before. But Aaron actually does find the first frag. Lives by the skin of his teeth with 22 HP. And look at this. This is just a complete firefight in A main already.
So catching their opponents off guard, we're talking about safe plays, talking about taking no risks, but no risk equals no reward. They're getting the reward now, not in the form of candy canes. It's obviously he's experts, but no, in the term of frags, it's 5 versus 3. They've earned these frags so far, and it all comes down to aggro plays. Catch your opponent off guard, and boom, headshot, off you go.
And GMD, This is a really good position for him to be in, but he might get actually spotted, but instead he actually does take down the AWP here from Xset, so that's a big frag to pick up. Able to retreat back, reposition himself. Becoming a big nuisance here for the defense. They still have 2 ultimates. The Rays could potentially go for it if they want. They also have the Neural Theft that they could use from the Cypher, but it might be too early on. But right now, you can even see that's going to be the run it back. Activated from Sean, so Sean right now going to be able to pick up an easy frag, looking to look for another one, but not able to. But another opportunity, and GMD finds it. The big lurk is really panning off, and all of a sudden, it's just down to Weeded by himself, and he might just need to save this one again.
Absolute fire from Jinder. You saw it. He's going to be that anchor in the middle of the map. All the rotation up for B's. Like, I can hear you. I can hear you go through spawn as well. Going for a frag will be we did. But we done. We over for this round, and it's 3-2 for Gen G. Again, with the start of the map here, it was 2-0. So, not to say you go a couple rounds down, you're over and out. Not at all, especially at this level of competition. You're going to see those neck-and-neck plays all over the place. And for the first time, it is going to be
a nice spot.
a trailing effort there coming against Gen G. So, Xset, they're chasing the dub right now.
Yeah, so Gen G have now put themselves back in the lead, but a full gun round. The big test of time to see what can happen. Xset going to see what they can find, and that will be now the Jet. I believe that's from the Gen G side that is going to now use the Bladestorm. And look at this. Win already pushed up, clearing the smoke. So now only one spot to look, and it's just on the right here. So a little bit of an element of surprise potentially. I don't know if Brandu's going to expect this, but the wallbang actually does make a little bit of noise. So they should know Quinn is there.
Should have an idea. Hearing a couple of shuffles, couple of footsteps. Lone Ninja. Jet will be, and oh no, that Bladestorm's going to get deleted immediately. Didn't even get a knife to be thrown.
Oh, and that's a huge frag, and we did actually goes for the bit of a fake, but now will be the Cypher to pick up the 3 bodies. Now just leaving it only down to GMD. Doesn't even have the spike in his hand, so going to be stuck, and now the Neural Theft going to be used. So he's completely spotted, and they all know where he is, so they can just hold this site, anchor it. They don't need to hunt this. It's all on GMD. He has to pull 3 big frags to pulling this round through. Otherwise, this is that opportunity for Xset to pull through another tie game.
He's going to have to pull this dub out of absolutely nowhere. For my next trick, it's not going to be a rabbit, it's going to be a 3K. He does have his ult as well, lads, so his ult could be the difference maker here. What do you reckon?
The ultimate from the Omen in this kind of a position, I don't think it's going to be that useful. I mean, the only way would be if he was able to grab the spike and just go to the other site. But look at that. This is already looking a bit dire. Going to get spotted by the recon bolt from the cam, and Brandu just solidifies that equalized round of 3-3. But that's the difficulty of the Omen ult. It's good in many situations, of course, good for information plays, but in a clutch situation like that, definitely not the position you want to be in.
It's not ideal, is it? It's far from ideal. And commonly, when that last play's like this, like that Sova, or if it's going to be like your Killjoy, your Omen, it is so tough to get a clutch out of those situations. So kudos for the efforts. Gave it a go. The 3 versus 1, not going to happen on this occasion, but we have got plenty of this matchup ready and rev to go. I'm sure there'll be plenty more big plays to come. Gen G, 3-3 on the comeback will be the attempts here from Xset, but they've got to come up big here. Absolutely massive. Gen G, they're looking like they're feeling it.
Yeah, very even playing field that we're seeing so far, and I know a lot of the matches we've covered here today with all different teams, the attacking side seemed to be, you know, that big point of the change for the teams, the big momentum change. So we'll have to see if Gen G kind of find their groove a little bit more. But so far, Xset is really putting up a big fight and not allowing for a lot of opportunity for Gen G to really take these sites.
True. Going for the 1. He's going to go for hearing those. So Xset able to get the chime in first. It's a 5 versus 4. Oh my goodness, it's a 5 versus 2. So Gen G, they've been removed immediately from the server, evicted if you will. Rent has not been paid. And
player standing.
Xset just reaping the rewards here.
Oh, and you can even see GMD was trying to just go for a big flank, and he needed Sean to stay alive a little bit longer, but the recon bolt just gave it away. Valiant effort, the right idea, but unfortunately, that recon bolt was really just the big thorn of the side on that play, which now has allowed the lead to go in for the defenders, but only by 1. And the money situation still for Gen G, it's still enough for them to force, enough for them to put rifles back in there.
I've got a feeling this is going to be an absolute roller coaster ride, lads. Hang on tight, round for round, punch for punch. So whoever you're behind, if it's be Exit or Gen G, brace yourself. Make sure you're sitting down. Lots of big plays to come as we get into the 8th round here. Checking my maths, still working after a weekend long, lads. You've got to check those kind of things.
And the one thing to note too is, I mean, there is 2 ultimates available for the defensive side, whereas now there's 3 still available for Gen G. So they could try to use that Hunter's Fury for that first point to potentially get a pick. They could use it in a clutch situation, a lot of different varieties at this moment. But it actually will instead going to be Brand New that is going to try to use it. But, oh, there's just a Hunter's Fury battle. Look at this. And actually Mikkel takes him down, so he's going to be able to win that duel. The Sova on Sova, and it actually does favor Gen G. And now they're still just posting up. They're not just going to overrush this site. They're not going to overstay their welcome yet. They're just going to hang out in garden, pick some flowers, figure it out. I'm not sure, but they are just going to post up for now.
Have a picnic, take it easy. Easy peas, lemon squeezy. Not at all if you can be the site. Exit, Gen G. Coming into site, Cypher, player 1. Ready player 1. He's signed in, he's checked in, and he's good to go. Advantage is going to be here, but is this going to be all that Gen G needs? Or Exec be able to do the retrade, and not as it looks. It's all down to one lonely Cypher. He's going to be have to be one hell of a spy to land this round in the 3-on-1.
Just going to be investigating the site, looking at every single angle. But the difficulty is that now there's 2 Gen G members just on the outside of B. They're posting up and now spotted the 1 player, which will be the Jet, trying to look for a little bit. Finds the head of 1, but that will be Mikkel to take him down. And like you said, back and forth we go, the teeter-totter. Not one-sided at all. And now the money situation, once again, it's still looking good. So we will potentially see a full gun round on the side of Exet.
So Mikkel with the 3K, and you want to talk about individual performance. Every player there's an expectation in the server. If you've got to the semi-finals and at this level of play, that sort of T1 level, you have to be ready to clutch anything that comes your way. There's no excuse. Oh, I wasn't feeling this. No excuse at all. And that's the kind of mentality that all players are having right now. So it's tough to not get in your own head. Lots of pressure.
Camera taken out. No more charges left.
A little bit of a different setup now that we're seeing from both Brandu and also the Rays. So they actually did decide to play a little bit cheeky and try to lean a little bit on that long A, but instead now will fall back. They realize Gen G, they're looking to sign papers to come towards A. And that's going to be the paranoia that's going to be used. So Aaron going to creep on through the cloud burst. Might be able to find one, but no! Huynh! Different plan in store. Takes him down. And now it's going to be the ultimate use from Sean to run it back once more. But it will not be effective because he's going to get taken down. A little bit of information. He doesn't know that 2 are up on heaven, but he knows at least 1 is.
1 might be enough for him to get the intel in the position to get it covered here. Puro just trying his best here. Make something work, but this 5 versus 3, they seem locked out of sight. What they can do? They can't bust down the door. There's too many people.
Yeah, and this is a really difficult spot to be in because, like you can see, it's a tight site, and when you have all 5 players remaining and you're down in numbers significantly, is it really worth to go for it? And at that point, you could tell even Weeda was looking around. He was anticipating somebody to go for the big flank, but instead, they're just going to save these Phantoms. Definitely the right call. No reason for them to try to go for it. Their utility was a little bit lax as well. They'll just transition it into this next round and see if they can work around it once more.
That was looking like a bleak retake, wasn't it? And definitely, mate, the correct play called out, and it goes to show you don't have to barrel in there and be walking around like a turret and clicking heads left, right, and center. There's a time and a place, and that was not the place at all. Weapons survive, and so will the buy. So looking at that save, lads, you're going to have a Bucky or a bit of a dodgy sheriff buy for one person, but what it could have been, it's a good buy for Exet.
Yeah, they're making do with what they can, and look at this. This aggression from Aimon, actually, this could be effective. This could be what they need. Getting a lot of real estate, going to already be pushed up. They hear the Sova that ran through the cyber cage, but instead, they might not think it's 2 of them. Brandu going to be playing more of an aggressive angle. So a little bit of a bait and switch setup that they have.
That's beautiful. I was literally about to say that, lads. The bait and switch. Avon's played that spot already, so they've got a bit of intel. It's like, listen, I'm here, my bum buddy, come get me. And he's looking for that bait and switch trade out. Not going to get it, though, and that's a sign of, and tell of the times. Gen G, not willing to walk into a bait and switch trap just yet.
Yeah, and that drone that was used from the Sova, that was perfect placement of it because it actually was able to get that recon bolt, giving away that position. So now it's going to be the Cypher that's going to have to hold things down. That's going to be the Cyber Cages used, and that's going to be the spray to find one. So now teammates going to be able to get into this site. And you'll see Pure just on the other side of Logs, and GMD finds the head of Weeded. Oh, this could be big. Pure with one, Pure with two, and 3! Making it all body bags, and that's a big cleanup. X-Set, they have made their set at this site, making it back to an even game. This is just not going to go one way by any means.
That's a sick 3K. That's all you need to say about that, really. And that's not a 3K where you're running, you're jiggle peeking, you're doing all the dancey moves. It's just, I'm going to stand here, and you're going to run into my crosshair. That's what's going to happen today.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that he, Pure actually just stayed below on the Logs, didn't actually go on top of them. I think that was a bit of a difference, too, because, just had a bit of a tight angle, and nobody was expecting him to be there. And that element of surprise definitely was a big surprise for the Gen G squad.
That's a round changer as well. Zero room for mistakes, and no mistakes were made. The 3K executed, and you mentioned the body bag. Get him a body bag! Karate Kid reference. Not too short. That might just show my age, Laz.
No, sorry, I was kind of thinking about it. I'm like, I don't know, man. But either way.
Cobra Kai, guys, Cobra Kai. No mercy. That's what's happening from Gen G right now. No mercy in this approach here as they bust into A site. One player removed already. 5 versus 4. Mikkel's in the flank as well. So they've got it. What's happening? Not much to be said. The full showstopper is going to come in, though, evening things out a little bit. But the problems for the retake, I don't think we've seen a successful retake. Maybe one initially, but they can't get back in once Gen G have got sight.
Yeah, you can even see there's a lot of struggle for them to get this spike down. A lot of pressure that's being presented now from the defense, but that's going to be Hwin to stop it a little bit. But Sean picking up 3 more remaining members. And Sean having a phenomenal game so far. 11-7. This is the last round of the first half. 12 is the mark. So can X-Set make the comeback to making it a 6-6? Or can Gen G pull a little bit of a lead?
Triple baby from Sean. Second round to the end of the half. Have we got any more big plays to be had before the half's over? 1 round to be delivered. And if you're talking for an attacking side, lads, this is a pretty good attacking side here for Gen G. 6 rounds, nothing to be mad at.
No, it's definitely been competitive across the board. And look at this. We can even see X that they're actually putting a lot more focus into the C site. So 3 members and just having the 1-on-1 split at the other side. It will be Mikkel to scout things out with the drone. That's going to be the shock dart that's going to actually land right on top of Sean. So down to 28 HP. But now they're going to push on through. So they got the wrong read. They're running into a trap. But we'll have to see, can they make this work? Oh my goodness. And that's going to be the cleanup from Gen G. But now it's just going to come down to a 1-on-3 situation. The Cypher versus 3 more. The HP of the Sova is low. They can burn this Hunter's Fury, and they might as well. It's the last round.
Can Cypher do this? Util-wise, not much to be said. I believe you got the spy cam, but spy cam? Is a webcam going to be enough to get it done here? I don't know. It doesn't cause damage. Bullets do, though, and that's what he's hoping to hit here. He's got 100 HP. He's got the armor. He's got that really ecstasy Phantom. But has he got the frags, Les?
This is such a tough spot to be in because look at that. That's going to be the Hunter's Fury that's going to get used. Mikkel just holding it now. Going to be just has the lineup, so actually makes the shot, and that's going to be the pickup. And that's the dangerous fact of using the Hunter's Fury or having it available late in those post-plant situations. And that's exactly why. But Gen G going to be pulling off the 2-round lead and now switching over things to the second half of the pistol.
Right now for Gen G, it's like anything you can do, I can do better. 3K from Sean. We just saw a 3K from Sofa as well on the Gen G side from Mikkel. Talon, left, right, and center. X-Set have that as well, though. So as you look at the scoreboard, it's pretty even, lads. 2 players on each team with double figures. The rest, they're chiming in quite equally. Would love to see a bit more from Brando and Player One. We know what potential they have, and still plenty of this best of 3 to get it done.
Yeah, the moment to read the tea leaves, figure out what is going to be the best plan, and now Gen G going to be on that defensive side. going for the aggression. Look at this, Sean. He's already spotted the hair bun, and he's just trying to see what he can find with the classic. A little bit of missing, but it actually will be player 1 to take down Pure. So now, this pressure, it's looking good so far. And they got garage control completely. Look at this.
Yeah, the immediate pressure. You've got to look at this. They've wasted no time at all coming straight through. Gen G, they want this so bad. It may be too bad. Desperate plays, and it's going to be taken away for the day. We did. Adrian taking all the frags. It's a 4-on-1. This should not be happening for Pistol for Gen G. It fell apart.
Yeah, completely did. Nobody was able to land a frag, so that was kind of the demise. And now it's Huynh versus 4 members, and he's only got 20 HP. But Randu going to take him down. Very impressive pistol round that came through. And you know, you gotta give your hats off to Gen G for trying something like that. A little bit more aggression. And Sean, being the Phoenix, being a duelist, you know, he was thinking, I've had a pretty good game so far. So let's just see what I can make work of with the classic. The right idea, but unfortunately the execution just wasn't quite there.
And not just under execution, it was the aggro plays coming out the gates there from Exet. You're not going to be expecting that for a pistol round. First round, usually a bit more passive plays, and for a team that, you know you're up against Gen G. Let's speak about the facts there. Exet, they're not up against a really high-tier team. They're playing to that caliber, but it's always going to be lurking in your mind of, oh, am I doing too much? Am I doing too little? And that is all down to the IGL in the server right now. 7-6 is the score. Still extremely doable for both sides, and this is that teeter-totter moment we speak of. The spike's going down. It's going to be uncontested with this eco, with the save from Gen G. A couple of glory frags and frag wheel stuff here for Exet maybe.
Yeah, and this is kind of the moment where, you know, they don't have really anything to work with. They just bought a frenzy, so now they're just trying to look for anybody that they can take down. So it will be the Cypher that's just going to hold it. So going to get double, trying to make a triple, but no. Huynh going to find the head of the Cypher. So now, picking up a Spectre, going to see what they can find. And Mikel actually somehow finds Aaron, getting a little bit too adventurous in this site. So what they want to do is they want to keep these players close, just try to see if the spike explosion could potentially take them down, just burn as much economy again, but that's going to be that. Look at it. This is a significant amount of damage, and now it's just come down to a one-on-one somehow.
So all those weapons we spoke about, they're gone now, deleted, removed, and not too many frags to be seen, aside from all of those coming through in the side of Gen G. It's crucial. You're on a classic. I don't think we saw anything else. We saw maybe one frenzy, and the rest, the default, the stock. With money, what we're looking at for the econ, lads.
So it will look like, sorry, that the Stingers are going to be coming into flourish, so we'll have to see what they can make work of with them right now.
It's super interesting thing with the economy as we grow with Valorant as well. Obviously, it's developing with the game too. But this round now, you've got the full Phantom buys against the Stingers and a couple of Spectres. So that round where a couple of players were lost for Exet, that could be fatal.
Well, you can see Sean was actually trying to see if they were very close by with the flash. A little bit of a cheeky play, and he wasn't going to shoot the drone, but instead was going to try to use it as a bit of a bait for himself. But now, we'll see Exet. They still have their attention towards actually Long. And it is Mikel that's just on the other side of the cyber cage. They might not expect them to be this close, but they do escape. They are going to reposition. Huynh does have the Blade Storm ready to go. The knives to a gunfight. Can it be successful? Can this be the playmaker they need? They're going to creep on through. Mikel going to spray for one, but not able to get more. Huynh able to only take one, but that's Sean with now two. He's looking for the third, but that's going to be the burst from Brandu. So now we'll be able to get the spike down if he wishes, but instead wants to bring the fight to them. But GMD, more crisp aim as now Gen G pull through.
Did land the headshot on that last battle he attempted though, so if that was to be a frag he obtained and just a bullet more would have put it to the 1-on-1, and that speaks volumes. It's one round between both the teams right now. It's been like that ever since I think round number 3. It's been 2-1, 2-2, 3-2, 3-3. Constantly chasing each other around the playground that is Haven, the only 3-site map here. And this is Knights.gg, the Nights Before Christmas 10k event going on, semi-finals. Only one team can get through from this best of 3. Map number 1 right now, second half. And he's got the op at mids. What's he going to do?
Huynh going to just hold down B by themselves, but we did actually going to be able to find the head of GMD. So now it's just going to be the Cypher that needs to hold things through. So it will be player 1, but instead we'll get taken down. So it's just completely fallen apart for Gen G. They have the right setup, but just completely fell. And just the aim from Xset just too dominant. And now they put themselves in a winnable situation unless we can find too many aggressive plays. And that's Mikel picking up a double now.
So they've been gifted 2. Does put it to the 3-on-2. Is it doable? Still uphill struggle. And Sean, he's on the prowl. He's on the creep. Just have a look what you can see. Not getting too much though. So yeah, Sova at the back of Long C as well, set up for that post plan. Love to see it. All the utility ready to go.
Yeah, and look at this. I mean, Sean just keeping that op in his hands is very, very important, and that's one thing to note too, because it's an expensive investment. I mean, it's 5K that you're spending, and I mean, they weren't even able to use it at all this last round.
Denied, not deleted, and it is going to be snagged into another action-packed round. But where's Sean going to go is the question. Doesn't have the up in hand now though. Been handed to win.
Here.
Yeah, what better combination than a jet and an op? So we're gonna now get a little bit more aggressive. Not gonna play towards B this round, but instead we'll go in A sewer, try to find something in A lobby. Being a little bit more aggressive, a little bit of a change in the plan that we're seeing from Gen G. That's not what we saw before. But the position that he can be in, he can dash out of this, but he actually misses that shot against the drone. So now the recon bolt actually does make the connection, so he's going to have to completely fall back. But you know what? He still wants to bring this fight. He's not even going to back off yet.
No, he's holding a super close angle with a hard scope as well, Laz. Not trusting the no scope. I respect that. No scope's not always an aimer's cup of tea. Long C pushes Happy Hunters Fury coming through as well. I frag is going to be attained from Gen G Mikel too. So it's a 5 versus 3. Not even stepped a foot into sight, but so much blood's been shed, Laz.
Yeah, a lot of blood has been shed, and now it's just down to both Pure and We Did, the 2 remaining members for Xset. But that's going to be Pure to find the head of GMD, so it will be Mikel to take him down. So We Did. Still a little bit of utility that he could use, but he is stuck in a very hard place because the spike just on the left of him. And right now, Gen G, all they have to do, they just need to hold this. They shouldn't be hunting. That could be the mistake, but We Did knows that somebody's close by with Hwin holding a very tight angle. The nail to the coffin, and now 1 round away from putting themselves in double digits.
So the double digits, that's a place where your mind's going to start to shift, and you can either see 8, the game slipping away from you, or B, if you're going to be on the side of Gen G, you can see that dub getting even closer. So this really is a pivotal moment. You talk of that mental shift, Laz. I think double figures is where it begins, in my opinion.
This goes here.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, once you get that double digit, it's a little bit of relief. Like, okay, we made it. We got a few more to go, but it ain't going to be over until you hit that 13. But we'll have to wait and see. And now a little bit of a different plan, a very slow round from Xset. Not going to put a bit more aggression on Long C like we saw before, but instead just going to post up, hold middle, wait to see if Gen G, get a little bit curious and see if they want to go in the garden again. But instead, actually, they will not. So they're just going to put that more attention towards B at this point.
So much indecision, and it's an nail-biter. This game, there's nothing else to say about it. Semi-finals, and it feels like a semi-finals. You really could hear multiple pins drop.
Cage triggered.
No skin to be shown earlier on. That Cypher Cage just going through, and you can see when he's got an inkling. He's got an idea that some players are over that. Oh, he sees the rifle. He sees the butt of the gun.
Yeah, that just gave it away. That was allowing him to get that frag. So now, using both the cloud bursts, able to get out of there. Hightails, better position, but he realizes I don't even have any more, so I'm going to just have to dash and reposition entirely. And that's going to be actually caught because the Cypher finds him with his back turned. They're going to be able to get into this site, but it's going to also be player 1 just on Heaven, waiting for the right moment to ascend from the Headmans. Can he find it? Can he drop? Does he go for the big risky play?
Nowhere to run. He's got no teammates even close. The ult is going to come through here from Xset though. Brandu grabbing 1. Can do. 4 versus 3. Gen G, they're in the back foot.
Oh my goodness! What on earth is that? He makes that connection. Perfect timing. A double with a Phantom. Oh boy.
Signed some mouse pads right after the game. will be Cypher with the Phantom sprays down like that. That's
goes
far
there.
from a whiff, mate. That's all headshots.
We talk about the perfect times, the perfect peaks, milliseconds, seconds, if you will. And that's exactly a big example of that. You could just see goes for the big swing, but both players, with them moving into that connector, they just lined up. And obviously, they, not purposely, of course, but it's just those little things that can make the biggest difference. But in that case, it just fell apart. And now, a tight game we go again. Nobody wants to give up without a fight.
Then it's definitely Sofa like that. Punching
I
air.
know
Even if they have no
exactly
players nearby. This is the double figure denier, isn't it? So Gen G, they're forced into a save here. You've got Stig, who's got a couple of classics. The desperation buy, if you will. Oh, Phantom's going to be grabbed though. Not enough. Brand new, he can do ×2. Grabbing that frag yet again as he goes on to A. So 4 versus 2, lads. Gen G seen almost out the running the round, and they are out the running. 4 players survive, not quite a flawless, but double figures achieved by Xset. I was not expecting them to be the first one to grab that.
Yeah, and the big thing to note too is like I'm really impressed with the way that Xset is using their ultimates and their utility. I mean, using the neural theft is just so important, and you can even see it as soon as they used it there. They noticed every single Gen G player was just completely towards B or towards C, so they had a free site, so they were able to just react to that situation very quickly, get in the site, get the post plant set up that they needed. And right now, I mean, Gen G, a little bit of a slower start that we're seeing from them, but again, it is so close that anything can still happen. They have the op in the hands of Win, and that might be something they need. Is that going to be the piece they need? We'll have to see. It's been very ineffective so far.
He's had a couple of good shots, but he's been caught on the aggro quite a few times. And this time, as you see, he's posted up kind of back of sight seat, taking that high angle, the off angle, if you will, and GMD just prying into Garage. What's here? Have a little peekaboo. I do not see you. Sees nothing at all. So with Garage clear, given that call out, maybe they have the inkling that A is going to be the play of the day. And you mentioned about synchronization of the abilities coming out of Xset. It's been astonishing. And right now, that's the thing that separates the two teams. It's not the aim. The aim's great across the board for all 10 players. It comes down to how do you use your abilities.
And speaking about using your abilities, I mean, player 1, a good camera placement, which allows to see if anybody from the attackers crossover, but also to have that short. Now spots the barrel, so now he can communicate to his team that they're going to be close by. Player 1 going to be right underneath tower. So they might not expect him to be here. He could be a little bit of peekaboo. He gets the 1. Can he get the second? No, Weeded is going to take him down. So it's already just not able to pan out yet, but Weeded actually decimates 2 more. And the spike about to get planted. There's still plenty of time left. And it will be Huynh to get those knives out to a gunfight. He's able to find one, but now we're on a 2v2 situation, making it now a 2v1 GMD versus 2 Xset players to bring this back to a tie, or allowing Xset to be closer and closer to that match point, and he's able to get 1. Is he able to get the second? No, Brandu going to be putting them at 11.
Revealing area.
11, well earned. Legs 11, lucky for some. It's going to be super lucky. He's feeling it. That's a bingo call out. Again, show my age, man. I don't even play bingo. I don't even play bingo. I'm doing bingo callouts. Well, Nights.gg, hopefully someone's going to win that money. It's 10k. It's not bingo. It's going to be well earned. No luck here. Only aim in this server. So hopefully you enjoyed things so far. At Cupperfrag on socials for me, and at Lies_TV for the fella that I am joining on the Your Welcome stream. Chuck us a follow if you are a noob to this channel. Lots of Valorant to come in 2021, and lots of other FPS bonanza as well. But right now, these two teams having an absolute bonanza, dude. It's 11-9. It's first time that Xset, they've had that sort of 2-round differential from Gen G. This could be it.
Anything is possible at this moment. And, you know, the one thing I want to note, too, is I'm glad to see that Sean, you know, had changed his name. I know it used to be like Sean, like, I'm going to figure this out. 12590 or something, or 998 or something. Anyways, I remember he had the longest name. But so glad that he actually just put Sean, because I was always like, does he want those numbers in his name? Does he not? You know, you never know. It's always, but you know, honestly, I'm so glad that he's on this this Gen G roster, because he's the most recent new pickup, and he's definitely been a big force to reckon with and against all opponents, and you can see why.
Player one has been having a good time so far on the Genji roster and all. This game, it's not his best game by any means, but it comes down to the team plays, doesn't it? And if his team can follow through, then he's going to be A-okay for those frags coming in. We did talk about individual performance, and right now, if you're not fragging out, you're going to be starting to feel the heat a little bit. You're going to put yourself in the ball-in pot, still time to recover, and that's what you've got to focus on. What can I do that I've not done? What am I doing wrong? And reset yourself mentally. That's the game.
And a bit of an interesting crossfire that is set up here from Gen G. They got the Buckies, they got the Shorties. That drone, I don't think it actually spotted player one, so he might be able to find something, but look at this, he's just hoping a miracle with the Bucky, but it will not pan out through. And that actually, from Mikkel, is a big lurk, so now they know that it's more of a stack towards potentially B or even C. So now you can see they're completely hightailing this. Cypher already is full control. Cyber Cage is in place, ready to go. And now the only person that is somewhat of a threat is going to be GMD with the Bulldog right on top of A tower.
The Bulldog, not an easy weapon to master and get that finesse on it. There goes the satchel. Up GMD. Stuck in it. Stuck in heaven. Hopefully he's not going to heaven just yet. With the 5 versus 4 exit, they've got sight. Gen G, what can they do?
Yeah, right now they just want to see, can they take down a couple weapons? Obviously want to take the round, but I mean, it's definitely not a favorable situation for them to be in. But it will be Brandu. Just trying to be a little bit of info plays with some shock darts. GMD just holding down A tower still. Completely stuck with the dark cover, but actually does do a little bit of a surprise and takes down Pure before he falls, but that will now put Xset on the match point, going 12-9.
One enemy remaining.
Not ideal at all. The shorty kill is going to come out there from Gwen, and that'll do, Donkey. That'll do for that round. 12-9. Match point for Xset. Just to recap, I'm going to say they're underdogs here, lads. They definitely are the underdogs, statistically speaking. A roster that have less time together, and Gen G, they need to put the money where their mouth is right now. Need to see them step up a little bit if they're going to do anything with map number 1. Don't forget, though, there's 3 potentials here for this best of 3. The first team to 2 maps is going to be put through to the final.
Yeah, and the grand final will be with, on the Knights channel, of course, with, I believe it's Upmind and Sully that will be leading that cast.
Right on. They know their way around the microphone.
Yeah, they've done it once or twice, I think. But you know what? Talking about that, I mean, talking about once or twice, now we'll see another execute coming through. Xset going back to what they know that's been successful, and that's going to be the A site. They're going to push on through, and it's only going to be player 1. He takes down 2, so it slows it down. But all of a sudden now, we're just down to Huynh and Sean, the 2 remaining members that need to keep this going. The only glimpse of hope here for Gen G, they need to find something, and they don't even have an ultimate to work with, and there is a Hunter's Fury available for the Xset Sova right now.
You can almost guarantee, lads, that's going to be for that post-punt setup, isn't it? Xset have done that all game long. Those Hiko-style plays, hanging back, the Hunter's Fury, locked and loaded, and ready and waiting. The operator shot. It's going to start things off, though, in the best fashion. It puts Sean in probably the best situation he could be. A 2 versus 1. Can he get it done with his aim? He's going to have to do all the work with the Phantom. It's not going to happen. And Xset, Iron taking this first map here, 13-9. What a game for them. And they're going to be on top of the moon. Absolutely on top of the moon after that.
Yeah, congratulations to Xset for taking map number 1. 13-9, you can see on the scoreboard. A very dominant performance from them. And very close game. I mean, 13-9 is definitely a nail-biter game if I ever had to say so.
Yeah, nail-biter is the word, isn't it? I used that phrase earlier on too. It is whole time just wondering, and who's gonna get it? Who's gonna swing first? And it's a typical FPS thing. I click first. Both players on all teams, I think, in every engagement, I click first. Unfortunately, Xset are gonna be, in Gen G's case, the one to take map number 1. Do we have a drum roll? What's going for map number 2? Do we have any intel?
I don't believe we actually do have the intel yet. So you know what we will do? We're just going to take a very short break just to get some information, make sure that we can grab all the snacks we need and liquids that we can do for the second map. It's definitely going to be spicy. Make sure to stay back and hang out for the ride. All right, so we are back and we're getting things right into it. We are going to be on the agent selection, but before we get into that, it will be your host, of course, Laz and Kappa here on the You're Welcome stream with the Nights Before Christmas, brought to you by eBay.
Yeah, HyperX in there as well. I know I love my HyperX. I've got my 7.1s, dude. I never roll in without the sound. I'm all about the sound. Are you like, getting those sound cues, Laz, or are you all about the clicking heads? What do you prefer?
Well, I love, I'm all about clicking those heads, bro.
I thought so, dude. You don't even need sound. You're the guy that rolls without a headset, right? It's bah, 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 bah. It's clicking
Exactly.
everything. Good. This is what I need to play with you. I'm waiting for Laz to carry me. We've spoken about it. But enough of what he'll be doing to carry me. What's going to happen in the server for these teams to be carried? Is there going to be a big carry? Are we going to see a comeback to go to that best of 3? Or are we going to see the best team play yet in the tournament? Time shall tell here for this 10K tournament in the semi-finals. Gen G are 1 map down. What's going to happen? What's the telltale thing that Gen G need to do? If you could give him that piece of advice, Liz, what would you tell him?
Well, I think the big thing that's going to be good for them is that they are starting on defense on bind, so I think that could be a little bit of glimpse of hope. I think that's where they had a lot of success before, but we'll have to wait and see. Exet, they definitely have made some statements on this map before. Can they do it again? We will find out, but now the pistol round has started, so actually will be that they are going to be putting more pressure onto, whereas both Sean and Huynh, they're just going to be sitting inside of Hookah. Paint Can's going to be ready to go. Teammate's going to be going through the teleporter. Spike finally going to get planted, and that should come through, but oh my goodness, Mikkel actually already gets taken down, and that's an early start and an early lurk here from Exet.
Super early lurk from Exet. It's going to work, and having some issues stuck in Hookah. Really not much they can do to get a clean getaway into sight here. Doing their best, and they've got the numbers, but Gen G, they've got to do something quickly. Time's a ticking.
Yeah, they're completely just grouped up, and this is a little bit of an interesting play because they don't really have a lot of control that they can do, but now they're going to be able to push right on through to guard him, and Sean able to take down 2, and now flip of the table, and it's just going to be down to the Cypher now by himself, completely given away on his spot, able to pick up this frag, but the defuse is still coming through. GMD, he's just sticking it, but why? Oh no! And that's going to be the round from Exet. Again, it comes right down to the nitty gritty, but boy, Gen G, they came up swinging.
3K to finish things off there, and Exet hanging on tight to the lead as it will be. 1 game. We're not done with 1 game. We want this second. We want to do this in 2. We saw a 2-0 sweep earlier on. I'm not expecting this to be a 2-0 sweep, surely. It's Gen G.
Yeah, and the one interesting thing to note is Quinn actually does go for the Sage. And I mean, we haven't seen Sage as often as we like, but definitely had some interesting updates for her. So we'll have to see if Huynh can show us why Sage, it could be a big force to reckon with on this map bind.
Looking at bind as well, for statistics, we'll come back to that. More to the action though, Aaron. Pop it off 1, get the Spectre into the mix. Sean just trying to get a bit of intel, push his way out of Hookah, seeing what he can see, and he can see absolutely nothing. So maybe getting that wraparound into Gardens, but you only need a frenzy, so not too much to be expected.
Yeah, and even Sean just coming around the corner should be able to pick up this frag, but no! Brando takes him down. And Sean, he had it right there. You could see it. He was very excited, but he just wasn't able to make those bullets work. And that's kind of the thing with the frenzy. It can definitely make big statements, but there are those moments too where the bullets, they just seem to go all over the place. And that's exactly what happened to Sean.
A bit of a frenzy per se. The elbow play coming through, grabbing 1, Mikkel looking to do his best to survive, but Jet flying circles around him. Flawless victory for Exet. And they're going to be grabbing the 2 off the get-go on the attack. I do agree with what you said though for the defense. If Gen G are to have a chance to make this work, it's looking the best scenario possible for them on that defense start for splits here, or bind I should say, get my maps right.
That's okay, it's the first bind we've had. This is all tournament. You and I haven't been able to commentate this this map yet.
I keep thinking it's Ascent. Ascent's been such a popular map over so many tournaments here. I'm ascending, I've arrived, and we're here at bind. Round number 3 is being served hot, fresh and ready for you. And look at this push. Right away, Gen G, they've had enough of this nonsense. They want to get in there.
Blinding.
So we'll just be GMD. Gonna hold this down. But now Xset, they have made it over into elbow. So they got a lot of real estate, a lot of control into the site. Should be able to get the spike down, but GMD has now had to fall back completely. Backstep. And now we're gonna have to go for this retake situation. Brando gonna be holding the spike down.
planted.
Gonna have the one remaining member that is gonna be the Cypher inside of Washroom. A double player in Lamps.
Just crowded at you, all Labs, man. This is looking really sketchy. If a spray down or any U2 is to go into you and Lamps, that's going to be it. It'll be over, but not as it will be Omen. We did grabbing 1, Brandu grabbing 2. It's down to the 3-on-2.
Yeah, and look at that. The Sage Wall actually does block off the Lamp, so really isolates the options. But oh, look at this. Pure actually does go for the boost, but now they're just going to have to save. Time is just ticking too much on that spike. They're going to try to save these Phantoms and put them into this next big round.
Good use of the Sage Wall, though, and that is a good point. Not a default wall you're going to see used every time to block off Lamps, and make notes of that one if perhaps it's something you haven't seen. But let's focus on the point at hand. That's 3 rounds going towards Xset. Gen G, we've
Out of
yet to
charges.
see. We've yet to see them convert around. Pistol round, just a little reminder, it was down to the 1-on-1, just a tick away from that defuse on the spike. Was Omen, but no bueno, and still they're in the face of that big goose egg, the 0. This buy, Laz, this buy is so off for Gen G.
Yeah, it really is. And the one thing to note too is, I mean, that was the bonus round for Xset, so they still had, you know, the Spectres and a few weapons like that. And the fact that they were able to take that W with them, it allows them to even pick up some of those rifles. And look at that, they only just have Aaron with the Spectre left, so having 4 rifles pretty much for free, which just builds that economy, and that bank is just getting bigger and bigger.
That's it, isn't it? It just keeps padding the wallet. It's like your buddy keeps going to you, have 100, have another 100. What for? Just keep taking this money, and they're loving all that money they've boosted their economy with. Talking of that bonus round, it really is. It's a freebie. If you pick up any weapons beyond that Stinger, it's use the bonus weapon, get a Phantom or Vandal for free, and that's the territory they're in right now. A couple of Spectres still kicking around as well, so they really are feeling on top of their game. If they've got a Spectre coming to round 4 against Gen G, who does that?
And even the dark cover, it actually was placed perfectly. And it will be weeded. That's going to be throwing the smokes. And now they're going to be going for the execute. And that's going to be GMD that takes down 2, making it 3 from the heavens. And he takes them with him. And now just leaving it only 2 more members. It's going to be both Aaron and Weeded by themselves. They're going to have to Frago completely. But win the Sage boost. And that's exactly why you want Sage, is for a moment like that.
Let's talk about it. GMD, what a spray down, lads. Full 30 bullets. Just sprayed that down short A, and he landed all 3 frags, the triple.
Yeah, you know, a little bit surprised that he actually went for a full spray from heaven. But I mean, talk about recoil control, because it definitely worked out there, and a big play from them. And that's what they needed. They needed to get the fire going, but it looks like they at least got 1 cylinders. They got 1 round going here. We'll see if they can make it more. But a full gun round here, of course, from Xset. As we mentioned, the money's still good for them. We'll have to see, can Gen G now respond back from a big play like that?
And that's looking false hope. Gen G is still a map behind, so 1 round, wicked. Let's be the optimist, the glass half full, and maybe glass 3/4 full. It doesn't matter, because there's still that doubt in their minds. They need these rounds, and out comes the Xset. What a double!
A showstopper indeed. Look at that. Goes for the big boost and lands it into Garden. Takes them down, and Sean, he only takes down Brando with him, but now it's going to be Pure just spamming away right through the smoke. A smoke criminal. And Xset making a big statement in map number 2. Coming in flashy.
That's nasty. Laz, was that a double satchel? I didn't quite catch it, but that rocket, it sure hit home.
I always remember we were commentating a tournament a long time ago, and there were showstoppers galore. Nobody was connecting them. But I mean, today and this weekend here, the nights before Christmas, definitely lots of showstoppers that are making those connections. And I mean, that's one of the things about Raze that's so tilting to get, fragged against, is when it actually does land. Boy, it just lands and it just makes a big mess.
And talking of showstoppers and making a mess, Xset gonna make a mess of Gen G's progress here. Looks like it's over. They've got 1 map. They're in map number 2. Showstoppers boing, popping out a hookah, taking a double like nobody's business, and out comes over the Hunter's Fury. Not able to get the frag will be Brandu, but you mentioned it, the support from Exet has been absolutely phenomenal. Look at that Sova play there at the back of the line, but still being the first to fire off. And okay, Sean, he's had enough. He doesn't want to deal with this anymore.
Yeah, that was a really good lineup from Sean. I mean, I guess just a little bit of a pre-fire. The dark cover was completely blocking the vision for both players, but takes him down. Gen.G getting the big start that they want. Mikkel just going to be close by. He hears the Cypher that's in washrooms. Cyber Gauge going to come through, but will hold back. Not going to use the curveball. Will not fall to the temptation. But now it's going to be GMD again. That's going to be able to be a bit of a nuisance, putting that Bulldog, and that Bulldog is able to take down 2 more, and now completely collapsed, and Gen.G respawn back in the fashion we know.
Gen.G not quite ready for the GG. Getting the flawless, so there still is some fire left in their veins, and not just in the form of Phoenix in the server. No, we do have 5 players. They're ready and willing and good to go. Talking to Gen.G, who speaks of experience from like the CSGO world, from general FPS, a few players that have been around the block there. With all that aim is what we need to see right now. I'll just be leaning on that. Abilities, it's so tempting in the world of Valorant, isn't it? Of should I use my abilities? Should I just click heads? Gen.G, they've got to rely on their fundamentals right now. Nothing too fancy, no fancy footwork. Just get out there and stop the show.
Stopping that show, that's going to happen. Sean, a very well synchronized play. The curveball going for the flash. Sean using the boost with the blast pack and then using the showstopper. They pick up that frag. And this has been something to note. This is a reason why they're being successful. They're taking the fight to them. They're having those fights, those early duels, and they're winning them so far. But Sean, a little bit of a misplay, a little bit of a misstep, not able to find his ground, but it will be Quinn to bring him back with the resurrection. And one of the benefits of the Sage ultimate, of course, and now putting themselves back in that advantage situation, and it will be GMD again. That's just going all over the map, finds the body of the Cypher, and now all remaining players, they're just pushing in. They're not going to matter. They don't care that they're Cypher cages. They're just trying to find anybody that they can. They still got lots of time. They don't even need to rush this plant, but instead they are going to just go for it.
The YOLO push, right? You're in that 5 versus 3. They're probably thinking this is going to be an L in the sense of number-wise. It's not looking too hard. That Heaven play as well, working out well here for player 1. GMD doing work as well, and talking of that, another one coming in with Mikkel. It's down to 2-on-1. Removed, or will be, Pure Art. And Gwyn, Omen, Survivors. And you said about Sage. We had some off stream chats about Sage and her like recent. We've seen her come back into the service. What we're talking about. Sage disappeared for a while. You're like, where's Sage? Who's Sage? I don't know her Sage. And now starting to trickle back in. We've seen some recent changes as well to her ice wall. I think she's going to be an up and coming player. I know you mentioned it as well, Laz. A bit more useful, like she once was.
Yeah, I'm actually really excited, and I think this is a really good call. I mean, before in the earlier metas, we definitely saw that Sage was just the instant pick. Like, it made sense. Right now, a little bit more questionable. You have to have the right idea, the right strategies you want, but Quinn is definitely showing why it's going to be useful. And definitely that res and having the wall, and with the ability of the wall having a bit of a buff as well, has really just changed her efficiency in this game so far in the current meta.
It really, really has. And if you've got a res on your side, we talk of it as the 6th man, or Cypher's ult being the 6th man. Definitely, having that at this level of play, it can be a complete game change. Turning your back can be an issue as well. GMD, timing, Valorant timing if you will. 5 versus 4.
Exactly
Sight, it's theirs, but 2 players. Gen.G, they're chilling in Heaven.
Yeah, they're completely clustered in Heaven. And now it will be Sean. Again, find somebody. Going to creep on through. Going to clear all angles. He's definitely going to investigate this site. Look for anything he can find. What will the mystery be? And now Sean going to go wide. But oh, he's caught with a nade out. And that's not what you want. He gets a second chance, but he's down to 2 HP. And the Cypher picks up 2. And now it's all down to Quinn with an operator in hand. Just going to hold the fort. And picks up the frag. Should have enough time to escape. Oh, that's a huge shot. And Pure, you could see he was getting very hungry, wanted to get that Blade Storm into work, and Huyn's just getting completely sandwiched. But you know what? It doesn't matter. Huyn is just too strong.
Huyn, he's ready for the win, isn't he? He doesn't care that he's against the odds. I think it was a 4 versus 1, but no problem. Up in the face. Keeping the up it's going to be surviving for the next round. It's funny as well seeing Sage with an operator. I'm not used to seeing that.
Yeah, not typically what you see. I mean, you know, there is moments where, you know, you can go for a bit of a boost with the wall, things like that maybe, but you don't typically see it. But they don't even have a jet, right? So they kind of sacrifice the jet on Gen G's side. So definitely not unusual, just something we don't obviously see all the time.
It's that battle Sage mentality, isn't it? The Cypher Trap, or the cage, I should say. Closing off the angle when trying to get that aggro play, that sort of jet style that he's used to. Doesn't have the jet speed, but he's got the heels on the ice wall, and he's talked to that trade-off. So far, so good on the recovery train. 5-3's the score, Exet. Still 2 rounds in the lead, but GMD, he's been such a pivotal player this game. Look at this intel. Look at him go.
Yeah, this is all the information they need, but he's actually not going to go for the peak, but instead he's just going to push all the way around. But it's still a lot of good information because now Gen G know 100% that they are not going to be coming towards A, so they can put a lot more attention towards B without that uncertainty to rotate back. But GMD, he actually is still in the back. Oh no, Gen G, he turns at the wrong time, but now he's got 2 enemies to go, and Pure takes him down. And like you said, that was the big play. That's what they needed. But now that A site is completely up for grabs. They've just given it away.
Such a shame. That was going to be the play of the day, period. Not just the play of the game. And unfortunate, just unlucky in that situation. Made the judgment, made the call for the push, which was the correct one, but where to push, that is another question when it comes to that market play. Unfortunate, still some more rounds to come. 4 versus 4.
And now Sean going to go for the blast pack boost, going to jump himself out of this. The recon bolt does give his location away, but will be able to creep on through. Mikkel does take down 1. Sean still looking for more. Going to be the spam, the 2-tap. We did. The last remaining player for Exit comes up with 1, but not more than that. There should be enough time for Gen G to get this defuse, but it's going to be close. But a big round they need to really put them back in this tie game contention.
Every time I see a candy cane, I've not had one like this season, but Valorant, it's making me want one. It really is.
You know, I'm not really much of a candy cane guy. I'm really not.
Well, you know where to send them then, okay?
That's true. Don't they make chocolate ones? Is there chocolate-filled candy canes, or am I totally imagining that?
If that's the thing, you know what to get you for Christmas. If anyone in the chat knows about chocolate-filled candy canes, please educate, spill the beans.
I swear that was a thing. Or like chocolate in the middle, like maybe not. Well, I guess that'd be filled, right? I don't know. I thought that was a thing. I mean, somebody in the chat let me know. I definitely thought that was a thing.
Let Google be your friend, and spill to us what that will be. We'll focus on the game though, because candy cane's not the focus here. An operator shot, boom! Starting off from Sage there, from point. Ice wall coming up and saying no. Bathrooms is closed for maintenance.
And now you can see Exit. They have a bit of a split going towards Hookah and also Long B, but that's going to be Mikkel finds the 1, finds the 2. Body bags, both players going to go for the heal using the Molotov. And that's going to be weeded now. Back to an LMS situation. Going to be doing the fake teleport, but it doesn't matter because player 1, he's going to be able to take him down. We have ourselves a tie game.
Not just do we have a tie game. Gen G, individual performance, check mark, checkmate. They're starting to turn up now, lads. They're not being as passive. They're not sort of dubious in their plays. I'm like, should I push this? They're like, I'm pushing this, I'm getting a frag. I'm sure that's what is happening in the team chat. And right now, it's showing in the server. That operator has been doing good in Win's hands, not getting the most frags, but he's getting the important frags. Let's see how it continues.
Going up.
Now it will be Huynh. Actually does get caught a little off guard, but it will be GMD close by. Paranoia going to come through. Can he make this? But the Cyber Cage giving away his position, so they know he's close. Oh my goodness. Dagger in the back. It's GMD, but he doesn't have any more bullets to make it more than just the 1. So making it a 2-on-3 situation. Going to be Sean and Bolt Mikkel by themselves. The Neural Theft going to be used now from the attacking side. They know where these 2 remaining players are. All pressure on them.
The hands are shaking. You've got to be fragging out here. It is a 3 versus 2. 2 plays super lit on the Exit side. Is this winnable? You bet your bottom dollar it is. 9 plays can be made like this from Exit though. 2 versus 1. It's all going to be on Paul Mikkel. 15 HP, no U2 at all. And they're bunny hopping away from him. So frustrated, gets the 1 headshot. Liza's down to 1-on-1.
Oh my goodness, and now Mikkel, he's actually going to go instead for the dart removal, so his location isn't revealed, but the Cypher goes for a bit of a wide peek with the burst, classic burst, my apologies, and that's going to be the thrifty round from Xset. You can see they didn't put a lot of money into that round. They forced it, and it came right down to the wire.
I mean, you've got that little bit of stuff left in the fridge, and you just try and make a meal. You like got some rice, got a little bit of chicken, chuck it all together and make it. That's what they did that round, and somehow they're going to convert it into the dub 6-5.
Oh, this is a nice spot.
And the one thing to note as well is Xset, they find these openings where they just kind of go right into the depths of the site. They just somehow have one lurker that's all of a sudden he's like, hey, I'm in lamps. I'm in the right spot. You guys should come back over here. And then all of a sudden they just get that site control. It's just one thing we've noticed a lot from them so far in their attack on bind.
Great spot and great call out on that, lads. Their rotation has been phenomenal. What's been phenomenal has been Gen G's ability to get the frags so far, though. 2 frags eliminating Xset's 2 of 5 down to the 3, and this could be super important, level things out just at the end of the half. What a great way to finish this would be for Gen G.
Yeah, they already picked up 2 players, so now We Did and Co. by themselves, and Huynh putting that operator back to work. Spike going to be in the hands for the Sova. But this is against 5 players. I mean, it's still 50 seconds left. Going to go for the teleport right in front of GMD. That is not what you want to be. And that's going to be another double for GMD. So we have ourselves a tie game going into the second half. How terrifying is that?
I composed myself. I'm sorry. That was whoa, it scared me. I almost jumped out my chair there. I'm not even playing. I'm just casting. That was a bamboozler.
Yeah, like that is like the terror of just like the teleport. It's like, peekaboo, I'm right here. You're like, oh, all right, well, I'm done. This is it. I got nothing. R.I.P.
It was Omen too, so it was pretty scary, and I'm sure feeling pretty spooked. Even was GMD's like, goodness me, get out of my face, get out of here, headshot, and 6-6 is the score at the end of the first half. Recap, guys, Knights.gg. This is the night before Christmas 10K tournament semi-finals that you're looking at right now. At Cupperfrag for my socials, and at Lads_TV for the fella I'm casting with here. At your welcome channel is where we are. Feel free to chuck us a follow, chuck us a like. 2 frags are what I'm liking so far. Xset popping off right away, lads.
Yeah, I really like this. And this is what we were kind of talking about on map number 1, is when you're on the defense, you're kind of switching it up, being a little bit more aggro. You're going to just try to bring the fight to them on that defense. And it actually works out perfectly. I mean, they don't really take any significant damage at all. And then they actually take down 2 members. So now you can even see they're just going to try to see if they can get the spike down. It can be the money bonus that they need, but that will be the Cypher cage that's going to be used as well. And this is a big flank from the remaining players. Look at this. They're actually going to be just coming right through short. Now they've given their spot away. They just do a little bit of a tag. Burst fire across, and I don't know if it works that far away, but we'll see. And it will be now that's trying to find the head of GMD, and he's able to.
One enemy remaining.
Bit ambitious with a burst from that distance, but stranger things have happened. Out comes the classic, the double here from player 1. He's looking to be that top player, not going to guess that Jet's on the high ground, and Cypher snagging that defuse of the spike. So, in turn, that's 7-6 against GNG, or GNG, Gen G, GNG. With that in mind, they've got to start coming back here sooner rather than later, lads. They're a map behind.
Yeah, map behind. I mean, this is going to be an exit. Like, they just need to pull this map through, and then they're going to take this 2-0. But I mean, it's still so close. And even first map was very competitive, and we're definitely seeing it here today. But we'll have to see if Xset have different plans in store. They are on that defense, and in my opinion, I think defense on this map is a little bit better. But time will tell.
Time shall tell.
Going out.
And I wonder what's going through the minds of Xset right now. You're on the brink of leading your team to somewhat close to a victory against Gen G. You don't be counting your eggs before they've hatched, but it's going to be crossing your mind, and you've got to consider you can't let that thought kind of overwhelm. You've got to keep clicking the hedge. You've got to keep fragging until there are no more frags to be had. And at this moment, this pre-fire from We Did, he's done it again. He's got the entry.
Eagle-eyed.
Look at this one way. That's so perfect. Picking up now 2, making it 3.
What?
Oh my goodness. And now just down to Huynh. A ghost in hand. A ghost in a dream at this point. I mean, can pick up a frag. That'll be a bonus, but no, it will not. Exit. Now pick up another. 8-6 is going to be the score. We should see the gun round coming through for the Gen G.
Get him a body bag. 4K. 4K from Cypher in that one-way trap. I'm taking lessons. I'm not a Cypher player, but with plays like that, maybe I should be. Do you think that will help me get out of Iron?
I think there's going to be a few more things that we're going to need to get you out.
Oh, so cross-save placement of... oh, yeah. I'll leave that one alone. Yeah, cross-save placement is important, and not for me, because I've got no chance of being a pro. But all the players that are in the server right now, it is 8-6, except they're here. They're trying to prove a point. They're here to stay, and they are in the mix for this 10K here. Gen G on the other side, whoa, they've got something to prove. You've heard of Gen G, I'm sure. This roster, quite new, obviously the Valorant world, but need to step up to the plate sooner rather than later, or it's going to be too late.
Very slow round that we're seeing from Gen G, so just getting a bit of map control. Trying to just squeak on through. They have now managed to get Hookah. Both players just going to be sitting, waiting and wishing, but we did. Spotting himself a little bit, but the dark cover will actually block that off. And that's one of the issues is the dark cover, it's such a nuisance. It's so hard to get through because it just blocks so much visibility. And it's just worse than the brimstone smokes and all those things combined. But you know what? Will not matter because now Gen G going for a bit of an execute towards this B site. And now the defensive players are making a bit of a shift, but now they go through the TP. So a little bit of a fake. Let's see if this is going to bite.
I'm liking what I'm seeing here, and I was hoping, I didn't want to say, but I was hoping Gen G would go on the rotate. However, there's a full rotation. Been read like an absolute book. I think Exit wrote the book for this map.
Oh, we talk
site, though.
Look at this wall placement, and this allows him to get the spike down. Oh, but he just gets it. Oh my goodness. And that was a big push from Brando, and now Aaron trying to push on through versus two members. And they're both on the opposite side, so they're playing a very good crossfire. And that's going to go for Gen G. Pretty messy and a lot of mayhem that's going on at that A site.
It was a scrappy round to say the least. But as we said before, doesn't matter how it happens, as long as it does happen. And talking of we did on the other team, well, it's been done by Gen G. 8-7 to score. With plays like that, and if they're working their rotations, lads, I think that might be what is missing from Gen G's plays. They're playing too linear. They have a site, we push the site, we take the site. They're not being really rotating off of that. If you lose a player on entry, you've got to reconsider, go back to the drawing board, and right there, that TP was absolutely perfect.
Yeah, it was the right play, and it actually did a bit of a good bait just for the getting the rotates coming through and then just really throwing them off. And that's what you need to do, especially against your defensive players. Catching them in mid-rotation is the best thing to do because then their positioning is completely off. They don't have the right angles, the right setups to hold things down. And then very well done from Gen G.
That is what we need to see for the rest of this game, at least, if we're going to get to map number 3 of this best of 3. Exet just on the brink of taking this to the finals, not taking it home, and this push at Catwalk, that's a great ice wall, and Gen G just breaching into sight effortlessly. Look at that. Why have they not done that before?
I know exactly.
Bit of a different play now, so this will be the retake, allowing Gen G to get that control for now. But it's all going to be about if Gen G can hold this post plant situation, and it obviously gets quite difficult because there's only so many options that you can go. They do have the one ultimate available on their Sova, which will be Hwyn. But an ultimate like this, it might not be useful, but we'll have to wait and see. And the players that are getting ready to push in, we did, going to be throwing the dark cover to block off Shorp, going to go for the boost, and now able to pick up a few more. We did scattering. He's looking around as much as possible, and that's still going to be player one just spamming away. There's so much action, but GMD with one. This might not be enough time, but Exit, they get the defuse.
It is over.
Oh. That is an anxiety-inducing round there for both teams. 9-7, barely holding on to that lead, and they're actually going to buffer it. They've put 2 rounds in between them and Gen G. That much closer to double figures. Double figures looming on Gen G's head especially.
Now we're in a bit of a desperation buy here for Gen G. You can see some Bulldogs were out, and now they're just going to try to see what they can make work with what they got on the funds. The bank's not allowing a big loan at this moment.
Revealing area.
No bankroll at all.
Here.
There seems to have been a bit of bankruptcy, maybe a freeze on the Gen G economy. I think we saw, what was it, like a sheriff that was about it there? Maybe a bucket.
Yeah, not really anything to brag about, that's for sure. But Aaron actually going to be taking down Mikkel, and that's going to be the spike that will be dropped inside of Hookah. We did already down to 2 HP. But now Sean does pick up a stinger. He's actually just going to go a little bit of a YOLO play, and he actually does take one with him, so not the worst thing in the world. But now GMD and Bullwin, they're going to be the last 2 remaining members. They do have the spike, and actually, we could see GMD go for a bit of an ult fake, or use the ult to get the spike down, but actually will decide to preserve it and not use it right now. Quinn going to try to run away, but we did. Going to be putting themselves in the 10th round, 10-7. Here we go.
This is really, really getting nerve-wracking here for Gen G. I banged on about it because this is not the expected scoreline, not something you're expecting a 2-0 from, and I'm needing to see some more from Gen G, and that's to get it to the best of 3. Well, of course, here 10k is on the line.
This goes here.
Gen G, I'm sure, want to be in the running for that. They've made it this far, and they want to go the whole 9 yards. For XZ, they do want to follow suit off of their counterparts in the female CSGO region.
This goes here.
Having a fantastic time, I believe, this week on the weekend there for the female CSGO showdown. Wouldn't it be nice to echo the success of their org? Gen G, they've also got something to prove. Great players on that roster. Do need to see a little bit more if they are to survive in this battle royale, in this barrel style, I should say, 5v5.
Yeah, Gen G, they do have 3 ultimates available, so Raze, the Sage, and the Omen do have their ults. It will be Sean that is the only one that has one with damage that can be inflicted. So it's going to be about if he can use the blast packs, get out, use the showstopper, potentially take down Weeded. Is he's going to be that person that's going to sit in this site? That's going to be Sean, putting the showstopper out a little bit too far, but he actually going to get taken down. He makes the shot, though. I didn't even see it went through the dark cover, but he gets the trade. So now the defense, they're going to run on through, and GMD finds the head of Aaron, and that's going to be the res that brings Sean back. So now they burned all their ultimates now, and there is no ultimates left in this round for either team, but it is just going to be 2 remaining players, both Pure and Brando. The last 2, they have an operator, they have the Phantom, but they got 5 members to go against from that Gen G squad, and at this point, they might just want to scavenge and save these weapons.
Yeah, that's the only option. What that was from Gen G is, my voice goes off like a teenager there. That was the Hail Mary all-in. If you measure it to poker, I'm putting everything in. My house, my mortgage, my soul, the whole 9 yards, and it's going to pay off for them. 5 ults though, if that didn't work out, Laz, surely that was GG. Off we go. One step closer to evening the playing field and trying to crack open that double figures themselves. 10-8, Gen G still trailing behind.
And this is exactly how map 1 was going. I mean, there was a bit of a lead, and then all of a sudden the other team, they're like, you know what? No, I'm not done. We're going to keep on fighting. We're going to keep on seeing what we can do, and that's kind of what we're seeing here today. Except they have now put themselves at double digits, still 3 to grow. A little bit more pressure for them in terms that, you know, they're getting close to that point. But at the same time, Gen G, they are behind as well. So a lot of pressure for both teams, of course. And this is more for Gen G as they are a map behind, like you said earlier on.
Have a look at Huynh here as well. This might be why they're ahead. These advanced peaks, going for the aggro peak again at Showers. He's doing an awesome job at switching it up, right? So he's not going to bathrooms every round for that pre-fire. No, that's predictable. You go there one round, you leave it for a couple, you come back. And keeping that sporadic play is so hard for an opponent to read here, Mikkel. Trying to get the read on U-Haul and Lamps, but he's got no intel so far.
It will be the paint cans that's actually going to get thrown. So this is going to do a little bit of damage. Not too much. Just a little bit against Mikkel, but he actually will be able to use the firewall to get himself back to full HP. Actually can keep on pushing through, so he's not going to let those cloud bursts slow him down at all. But instead, actually, it will be towards B that Gen G are trying to go for. They might try to go through the TP. That's exactly what they're going to do. So he's going to be the one player to hold this on his own. He's waiting for his teammates to go for this rotate. Still lots of time, still 38 seconds, but he's holding an aggressive angle. He's going for the spray. He finds the head of one, and that's going to be the spike carrier, but player one does get this trade back. And player one, he's just getting spammed away, and Brando finally makes this connection. And all of a sudden now, the spike carrier falls. Run it back going to be used, but it's not going to do much. But another chance for the Phoenix to do some more. But 16 seconds left. They're going to go through the TP again. Ring around. They no time. They need to run. But they're going to be able to. Sean using the blast pack. And now we'll be able to get this spike down. But both players from Exit, they're close by.
What a mess of a round this is. This can't have been planned. You cannot tell me this was part of the textbook plan. 3 versus 2. Gen G, if they're able to get this 1 round away from double figures, so doable. And it's looking like we're on the brink of that right now.
Dark Cover going to be blocking it off. So that's going to isolate the one position. Brando realizes that a player is going to be towards Garden, going to go for the fake defuse. Cypher going to go towards Hookah. That's going to be the one. Brando looking for another, but now location revealed here for Mikkel. But I don't think they know exactly where he is. But now it's a one-on-one situation, just baiting the time. That's all you need to do. Stay alive. But Mikkel, he's going to do better. He's going to take him down. And they've put themselves at 9-10.
9-10. And Phoenix and Mikkel yelling, triple baby? I'm sure. Feeling the vibes, getting pumped up. You've got to be at this point. You're 1 round away from your opponent, and you know that you've got to get this. It's a must-win game, period. Stepping up to the plate there. Lovely triple, and you talked about it. Playing that post plant, absolutely perfect off the rotation. 10 out of 10. IGN rated? No. 10 out of 10, you're welcome rated here.
We can actually even see again, look at this, the defense. This is what Exit did before. They actually played very grouped up together, and GMD, he takes down 2. That's a big amount of frags that he's able to pick up. And it was just him by himself, so he had no opportunity for the trade, but he's already done his job. Exit, they went for the gamble, and that reward is definitely not there at this moment.
What's GMD sitting at for frags, lads? He's been popping off again this game. Feels like a rinse and repeat of the previous. I'd love to see. There he is, 20 frags, man. Top in the server right now.
Yeah, hitting the top of the scoreboard, but that's going to be just the trades. Go back and forth. Pierre does find the head of Mikkel, but now creeping on through. Just 2 remaining members here for the defense. Aaron going to get blocked by the wall. Player 1 going to be inside of washroom. But Aaron actually does get the burst, and that's a good way to get it, but the spike still gets planted. But they put themselves back in an even playing field. Still stuck behind the wall, but they break it just by a little bit. But Brando, they might not know he's here.
I think he's got the best position possible here. He's not going to guess that. Not at all. Grabbing 1 frag. It's a 1-on-1 again. Cypher versus Sova.
Yeah, Brando has to go for this. You can't bait too much time. He has to get the defuse. They haven't even touched it yet, so it's not even halfway or anything yet. Player 1 just going to be on the other side of the connector, but instead, look at this. He's not biting for it. Player 1 now, he's done a great job just debating the defuse, but instead, it will be off of it. But player 1 takes him with a nice fancy burst of the classic to bring this thing back to a 10-10. Full steam ahead.
We made it. We made it to the 10-on-10 game. Gen G, little breath of relief, but it's not going to be that whole breath. It's going to be the kind of half breath. You catch yourself, okay, now we've got to continue and we've got to finish this out. We've come this far. 10-10 coming back a long, long way. I don't even recall what the score was previously, lads, but it's been quite the trek for Gen G.
And this is the thing. I mean, Gen G now, like I said, the pressure is now getting to Exit. I mean, they were up by 3 rounds at one point. I think 3 or 4. But now Gen G have brought it back. Bit of a dicey buy, to say the least. I mean, you can see there's a Marshall that's purchased, and as well as some of the SMGs. And now Gen G, they just seem to be running on the right cylinders and really just putting Exit completely back. But you know what? Speaking of putting back, it's going to be Sean, because he's going to fall back from that shot.
Deploying
Chiming in. 5 versus the 3.
Cage triggered.
Gen G really having a tough time locking down the site here, and Quinn doing what he can. Getting the heels in, and Spike, it's still not planted.
Yeah, lots of time for them to burn. They don't need to rush this yet. If the clock was a little bit closer, I mean, definitely they wanted to look at this. Even Huynh going to go for the res. And that's now going to be the ultimate for Brando that's going to be used. That's the Hunter's Fury, and actually does make the connection. Takes down player 1, so the res pretty much useless. Doesn't really do anything with Huynh. Finds him and takes him down, and he actually is carrying the spike, and it's going to be Mikkel right behind him, so he will be able to heal himself. The cooldown on the heal for the Sage is still limited with 10 seconds left, so he will be able to get some HP.
This is an absolute nightmare. If you're a player like, okay, we've got sight. No, we don't have sight. They've rotated again. These rotations keep happening here from Gen G, and it's the thorn in the side here for Exet. They don't know how to react to those.
Yeah, and their weapons are a little bit weaker in terms. I mean, they have the Spectre, so up close, I mean, definitely not the worst weapon to have with the high rate of fire. We'll have to wait and see. I mean, Aaron now going to be spraying on through, and actually Mikkel doesn't go for the defuse, or for the heal, my apologies, but now going to just be down to only 1, but Huynh picking up a quad kill this round, and they've now put themselves in a leading position.
If I had a Sage quote off the top of my head, I would use it. Please chuck it in the chat. I'm sure she'll be having lots of spicy things to say, and she's so humble when she says it as well. Lovely 4K. We talked of individual performance, if I can say it. Spit it out, Cup of Frag. I did, and so all the frag's been spat out here from Gen G. Sluggish start to this best of 3, but my goodness, have they turned up now, lads.
We'll be seeing the timer come out, so a little bit of a match pause. So for the tactical, things are getting close. Pressure is absolutely high. Like we said, Exit, they already have map number 1 in the bag. For them to take this, that would be a 2-0 sweep of Gen G. This is for them to still have fighting contention to keep on going. And we're in the semifinal. There's no turning back at this point at all.
No turning back at all. It's a one-way street. And hopefully they're going to be greeted with the dub on the other side. Well, both teams are going to have that mentality of, you've got to. The must win. We're going in here in it to win it. And if you don't, well, you pick your pieces up and you learn for the next time. That was for some previous teams in this tournament. But who's it going to be? Gen G or Exet having that learning lesson to take away?
Yeah, we've seen a lot of success. I mean, you know, we've seen from the attacking side of Gen G, like, they group up together. They don't really split apart from each other, where I think where we saw before Exit, they were playing a little bit more of a lurk role, looking for, you know, I think it was usually the Cypher that was just trying to get that information, things like that. But the one thing we noticed from Gen G is they really do hold true to that buddy system and those executes together, which has been very successful to this point. And we see that even at the A site, it's usually Weeded that just holds it down by himself, and they really start to lean a lot more on that B, which makes sense. I mean, B is typically, you know, a 3-player stack that we normally see, but we'll have to wait and see now. Do they change it now, or do they want to just kind of keep it going with the same?
Ain't broke, don't fix it, and that's the question, isn't it? They've done the full rotations off. That's been working, but if you start doing a few more lurky plays, and we did see it, it was in the first half, wasn't it? When Gen G were on the defense, we saw that massive flank from Mikkel, yeah? That flank, if you saw kind of aggro plays like that on the defense or attack, those are the kind of plays that are going to be the difference between these two teams. So, are we going to see a couple more frags like that? GMD having an excellent game. I know he was top frag a couple of rounds ago and he's kept chiming in, but Wynn's starting to get some frags, and you've seen a couple from Sean as well. So, even play one, he's stepping up. Again, sluggish starts do not mean diddly squat. Don't mean anything at all in the Valorant world. Diddly squat, man. So many phrases I've used today. I think I've dated myself older than I am, but diddly squat. Have you heard that phrase before, Les?
Yeah, unfortunately I have. Unfortunately, we're very close to the same age, or I think we actually are the same age. So, I mean, I think a lot of expressions I'm going to know, and I'm sure a lot of younger folks in the audience are probably like, what on earth are these guys even talking about?
Bro, what age, what generation?
Boomers, just a bunch of boomers.
Boomer City. Boomer City. Yes, it will be in the casting desk, but if you're in the chat, chuck us a hi, say what's up, give us a follow, and plenty more casting, all that knowledge we'd love to share with you. Maybe a couple of dinosaur phrases as well. Enough of those though. Back to the action. 5 versus 5, 11-10, and just the one round between the two teams here. Gen G just about in the lead here, and they've had such a tough series in this best of 3 exit, not making it easy.
No, they're really not. And taking map number 1, I mean, I don't know if Gen G was expecting it, of course, but now both teams with the backs and all the pressure behind them. And even look at this. Mikel is going to be grouped up. Only ultimate is going to be available for player 1 is the Cypher, so that'll be the neural theft. So they can't use it until they pick up a frag. And the only ultimate here for this defender side is going to be the Omen ult, which right now it doesn't make the biggest difference for We Did.
It doesn't. It's not really something you can use. Maybe go for that flank and try and spice it up, but trying too much can backfire. It's going to work out here for Sean, pushing straight in. The YOLO play leads the way. Phoenix grabbing one, and another grab from Sean on the Razor. Oh, so things starting to get revved up here. 5 versus 3.
Right here.
Last player standing.
Boy, Gen G, they're looking to silence Exit. 1 player's left.
Yeah, the tactical pause definitely looked like it worked out very well. A flawless round. Nobody fell. Look at it. No damage really exchanged. The only person that took it was Sean. It was just a little bit of dirt off the shoulder or anything like that. So now we see Gen G putting themselves at match point, potentially pushing us to a 3rd map.
That's got to be crushing for Exet. You saw, we've got to double figures, boys. We're close. We can taste the win. It's right there. Scratch that, and we're going to potentially that 3rd. And Gen G, individual performance is key. Absolutely key. And that 4K coming out from Raze there is going to do it. 12-10 match point here for Gen G. I'm sure they didn't even believe at some point. It was definitely, I said, uphill struggle. It's been vertical on the treadmill, and they're looking to capitalize here.
Now we see Gen G. They're going to go back to the bread and butter, go to the B. Why not? It worked out before. Why can't it work again? And that's going to be the Cypher cam. That's actually blind, so I'm not sure if he was able to spot that, but ready to use this one way. And look at the money. Look at, or not the money, sorry. Look at the weapons. I mean, it's not the strongest couple Bulldogs for the defensive side. Nothing that you want to brag about by any means.
No, not something you're going to write home about. It's for a stinger in the defense for Hookah. Not ideal. Not what you're going to be seeing for that default buy. It's going to work out for 1, though. Get the 1-to-1 trade and removing Sean. So that's the duelist gone. That's a big advantage.
And look at this. This is going to be full speed ahead for Mikel, sorry. So he actually using the run it back and to just keep on pushing, keep on trucking, but he will not take him down. But now they're going to go through the TP. Oh my goodness. But now they're going to run all the way back. GMD does have the spike. So just going to go all the way through short. And this is a full rotate. And this is completely put the positioning for the defenders off guard. And this is what we were talking about. Now they're going to they're trying to rush in. They're trying to find the right spot. And Pure is the only player now that's got really much of a high ground to work with. And he's going to have to make something as he's got the knives out.
10
But the
seconds
spike
left.
is going to get planted and actually goes for it. But he needs to pick up this frag. But he's not able to get the spike carrier. But oh, that's not going to matter because now they picked up 2. And now they responded with the win. And now 12-11.
So fast, so furious, and this has turned out to be an absolutely deadly second game of the semi-finals. Yes, semi-finals, it feels like being delivered by both teams. 12-11, potential of overtime if Exet want to close this in 2. But for Gen G, this is Victory Alley. They've got to be feeling pretty hype on this. And guys, we just need 1 more round and we're into that 3rd map. We can reset ourselves mentally, reset the score, and give this a proper go. On the side of Exet though, money-wise, we are going to have the full buy from both teams. So this is anyone's round.
We talk about pressure. Everything, all marbles are into this now. Gen G, 1 more to go to map number 3. This round to go to overtime. This is just mayhem, Kappa.
Such mayhem, mate. Semis are full of this kind of energy, and you don't get to see it every day, but this one is the prize that you've been looking for in the form of the best game so far for the tournament. At least from my opinion, neck and neck it will be. So many 4Ks, 3Ks, left, right, and center, and it's going to continue as we go into this potential OT or the close in 2. Gen G looking to put this one to him. It's still 5 versus 5, and it's 50 seconds.
Yeah, it's coming right down to the timing. Mikel does take down 1, and now going to pick up more. Look at these trades. This is just back and forth. Rez going to come back, bringing back GMD. 3-on-2 situation. Both remaining players, they are going to be in the back defender side spawn. They're going to group up towards Boiler Room. And now, no ultimates. There is one available for the Cypher. One shock dart remaining. The recon bolt now available.
Revealing area.
So they've got a little bit of intel, didn't they? They've got the position of one, but one's not going to be enough. There's one taken. It's a 2 versus 2. Time's ticking.
Oh, and both these players on the attacking side, they're completely split apart from each other. So we have ourselves a one-on-one. Now they know where it is. Oh my goodness. It's going to be GMD. Can he pull this through? He's going to be able to. And Gen G, they push us to map number 3.
Map number 3, you weren't too sure. Worthy, but you are now because it's delivered. Proof is in the pudding. Buy-in taken by Gen G, and we will be moving on to another map shortly. Let's look at those combat scores. Pretty even across the board there. And from what I believe we saw there, it's going to be GMD at the top of his game. We've talked about him all series long, and in that second map, he stepped up to the plate and put the team in the right direction.
Absolutely, and congratulations. I mean, I shouldn't even say congratulations. I mean, but big win, you know, considering for Gen G and really big test. I mean, map 1 was very, very close, and map 2, obviously, the brink of going to OT. But now we are going to be going on to map number 3. We don't actually know what the map will be yet, but we will definitely let you guys know as soon as we know.
Indeed, we will. In the meantime, though, give us a follow. That's what we're casting to make sure we can provide more of these pipes, more of the voices over the games for you. At Frag on all socials and at Laz_TV for, of course, your Twitter. And for, yeah, is there above, raise the roof. And as, of course, for Twitter, where you are right now, it's the You're Welcome stream. So chuck us a follow and would love to share all this casting goodness with you. Sick game we've had so far and plenty more action to come in the third map. Don't go anywhere. Complete same.
All right, we're back here. Map number 3 here in the Nights Before Christmas, brought to you by eBay with the host Slaz and of course Cup of Frag on the You're Welcome stream.
Oh, sorry, getting the mic closer to my pipes. What a series we've had so far, man. What an entire tournament. Semi-finals, this is the third map of a best of 3. Those first 2, it was a bit touch and go for Gen G in that first one.
Yeah, it really was. I mean, it just completely back and forth. And now, what better way? Semifinals, going to map number 3. Couldn't have it better myself. And I mean, now we are going to be on split, which will be Gen G starting off on that defensive side. Exit going to be on the attackers. And Gen G, I mean, we saw their defensive so far map on both maps. It's been efficient, but is it going to be enough in a map like Split? I mean, in my opinion, Split is still quite defender side favored. Not as much as before, of course, in the old metas and old iterations of the map, but we'll have to wait and see.
Looking statistically at both of the maps, and it's funny you talk about the changes, seeing how things have changed throughout the course of Valorant outside of kind of what maps do you play, what are the players thinking, what are their strong suits. Split is actually the least played map, according to Spike.gg, for both teams. Okay, so both of these teams, obviously Icebox aside, new to the competitive circuit, not counting that as one to be, oh, a team hasn't played that map too much. Of course not, it is brand new. With Split though, it's going to be a 56% win ratio for Gen G. And for Split in the form of XSET, as we get things kicked off here, 40% on the win ratio spectrum. So pretty damn close, Les. It's a coin flip, complete coin flip for this.
Yeah, I mean, we saw earlier on. I think it was Equinox that was, you know, just ran through this map like, and I think it was what was it, like 13-2 or something like that.
13-2, yeah.
Yeah, just dominant performance across from them, and they were starting on their defensive side. But we'll have to see. Is there going to be enough gas in the tank for both these teams? I mean, now they've had two very close maps, and now we're on the semifinals. Map number 3. Pressure's ultimately high for both squads now to keep on going in this tournament.
It is. So for XSET, they had that good vibes from map number 1. Map number 2, not so good vibes. Gen G stealing those good vibes, and both teams are feeling a bit on edge right now, and feeling, yeah, there's a lot of pressure on the line. They want to get towards that 10k. No one wants to go home, not empty-handed, but no one wants to go home with that less than first or second place. So let's see. Gen G versus XSET in the third and final map of this best of 3 for the semi-finals. Let's get it going.
And now they actually will have a Viper, so we all know, likes to have the Viper on a map like Split, so good to see. But it will be player 1 that's actually going to try to bring a fight, but not going to be able to do anything more. But the breach will be Mikkel. Does find a little bit of damage on the head of one. Actually goes for a bit of a flash, trying to find something, but runs out of ammo. And now that's going to be the Viper wall that is going to be used. So going to be blocking off the vision.
Spike planted.
Now 3-on-4 or 3-on-5 situation, sorry, in the HP. Look at this, 3 members from Exit. They're right in the red.
They are right in the red. That's one tap, not even one tap. You could just walk by them and they'd fall over and get fragged. Easy in the sense of aim. You get one tap, it's going to be all yours. Not able to land that though. Sean grabbing
standing.
1, grabbing 2. Great precision. It's a 3-on-1. So grabbing these frags on sight would be the recipe for the win. And unfortunately, when not able to convert that one, flying into the wind, he will do, and he's forgotten memory for that round. 1-0, and that's going to be XSET turning things on and turning up for round number 1.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, we didn't have a lot of time to go over, you know, the agent selections, and all the players were rushed right into it. But I mean, it is great to see a Viper on the playing field, and also both breaches on both teams having the Killjoy out as well. So a little bit of different variety of agents that have been selected for this third map than what we've seen on both map number 1 and number 2. And I'm actually looking forward to be watching a lot more of Weeded, just because we don't, you know, it's always those glimpses of plays that we see for Viper, and it's not just as common as we want it to be.
One enemy
We're going to be
remaining.
coming through here for XSET though, and it is like shooting fish in a barrel really. Classics, maybe a couple of ghosts available, nothing worth a mention. But that's it, isn't it? With the new agent selection, in the sense of what we're seeing in the server right now, Killjoy and Viper changes your playstyle completely. You're going to have your lockdown. You're going to have the Viper's Pit. You're going to have the Viper's... You've got so many things that make this map get split in half or divided. You lock someone out with lockdown. It could be the right play here from XSET, using a bit more of those controllers of Valorant.
Spike planted.
In a map like Split, I mean, the rotations across from both sites is very long, you know, considering that we saw Bind, where it's a little bit shorter, and then, of course, on the map before. But we'll have to wait and see. Huyn right now, shorty in hand, not really expecting much. Just hoping maybe, can I pad a stack? Can I pick up a frag, get a number on the board, maybe take somebody's gun away?
Go, Shardy. Oh, 50 Cent reference. Have to look up if you don't know what that means. I'll stop explaining these because I've got to keep up with the action. One shorty frag would be decent here for Win. Not gonna happen with Brandu saying no, get out of the server you, I'll take this one. 4 players survive, not quite flawless. but still super convincing stuff there from Xset. We've got a buy coming in from the realm of Gen G. This can be where we've seen the tides turn. Win that first buy, very disciplined saves from Gen G, and that's looking like the direction they're heading right now.
Yeah, and I don't actually have the stats in front of me, but I definitely think, you know, Gen G have had a lot of difficulty picking up pistol rounds. I mean, now I think this is going to be at least like 3 or 4 pistol rounds that Xset have now taken. So that's really just been a big downfall from Gen G so far. Not really much of the pistolers apparently, but we'll have to see if they're going to be having a little bit more in store, as it will be the bonus round here for the attackers, whereas now full investment that's going to come through from the defense. Win going to be close by, and he knows that somebody's nearby, and he's going to be able to spam away, dash out of that situation. A lot of exec coming already into this site.
My camera is this. No more
You can
charges
even
left.
see
A super valid point with those pistol rounds, and I again don't have the stats, but I agree with you. I think it's at least 75% gone the way here of Xset. 3 versus 2,
Last
make that 2
player
versus
standing.
2, and 2 versus 1. It's going to be all on GMD. He's had a wicked game so far, or games period, or plural. But this is probably going to be
Spike
a little
planted.
bit too much, and that Phantom most likely opting for the save here.
Yeah, GMD instead actually is just going to go all the way in the back. Just probably going to try to pick up an exit frag or two, just taking down those weapons. But really at this point, I mean, they were able to pick up 2 Phantoms. So if you can take those away, that would be a good start. But they're going to be able to purchase right now. So really not much point for him to do too much except for save this rifle and transition that back into the 3rd round. Or the 4th round, my apologies. But this will be solidifying Xset to get the 3-0 already.
It would be, wouldn't it? And with pistol rounds, you mentioned it, and while we've got the time looking for these exits here, GMD lands just even the 1, it would be a good go. The save is most likely he's going for that passive kind of exit play and not going to show too much skill at all. For pistol rounds on actual split itself, or excuse me, keep saying split, I'm eager beaver to be talking about that today. Within what we have, well, have a look here. It's 50, if my math is correct, I did just see pistol rounds. 33% for Gen G in the pistol rounds for this map itself. So, for Xset to be taking that, not a shocker from what we're seeing statistically, but you make a super valid point. They do need to start putting any pistol rounds away they can, just to try and close that gap and prevent Xset from running away with this game. They've got the different agent selection, keeping them unpredictable. This is going to be tough for Gen G.
Yeah, big test indeed. And look at this execute. That's a thing of beauty that we're just seeing. That's going to be the Viper wall. And Pure actually getting that first frag, opening the site up for his teammates. Now the long rotate that we were talking about, we go, and it will be GMD, the only rifle, spamming away, but Brando going to be taking him down. Finds the head of him, and now just some stingers. There is the Phantom Retreat for Huynh. And now just the Sheriff as well. I mean, they're completely stuck. They're right in screens. Sean, he's the only player that's made a bit of an advance in terms of the map control, but now he's going to even have to fall back. And a lot of good utility usage right now from the attackers.
And talk of Sean being the key
player
factor there.
standing.
All he's got is a stinger, and the spray downs are coming here through Xset. It's flawless. It's a straight up flawless there, and things really a concerning area for Gen G. Really, really concerning. They have had some potential of converting a couple of rounds, but quite frankly, it's been 2 players at least surviving from Xset, and it doesn't seem to be changing anytime soon.
Yeah, I mean, right now, we see that Xset is just running on all cylinders. I mean, 4-0 going into map number 3, and Gen G having a really slow start. And a lot of these rounds really aren't that close. Like, they're not taking them down right to the wire in those 2v2 situations or 2vx or whatever it is. But now we're going to see if they can put a big test on it. But this will be another full A exec that's going to come through. But GMD does find the head up here, takes down that entry. And it will be also Mikkel that is going to just be in the back as well with him with the flashes. Only utility available left for them. And they are creeping on through. And they're actually not just rushing into this time. Weeded is playing it very slow. He's going to be the spike carrier. So he should be able to cross. No problems there. Going to get the spike down finally.
Viper's such a fun agent to use. Love seeing the hops around there and all the util use blocking off screens. 5 versus 4. This is a round where finally Gen G, they can have the advantage. The early spray down from G&D, putting his aim to work, spraying through, hitting and hoping. The best scenario they've had so far for this retake.
They're going to be pushing on through. Mikkel does find the 1, and so now it's just going to come down to Weedid, and Weedid picking up 2, can't make it 3, so now just the breach. The Aftershock should come in, or interrupts the defuse, but now he's able to take down the head, but no, it's not going to be enough time, and Gen G, they get the defuse.
Converting it, making it happen. 2 players are going to survive, and it was a great effort there with Breach trying to counter things that on the form of Xset, not able to do enough, and Gen G are going to convert, get off the goose egg. So you get off the goose egg, you wonder what I'm talking about. There's no goose, no geese in Valorant. No, there's not goose egg. Talk about the 0. They've got off that fat 0. Doesn't feel good, doesn't look good, and they're shaking it off, and only upwards from here. 4-1's the score. Gen G, they've come back in this previous map. Can they do it again?
So instead of putting that A exec, they are going to do the wall. There will be the Viper wall that is already placed there if they need to have it. And that's the nice thing. You can be anywhere in the map and you can use it essentially. So instead, actually, they will put a bit more pressure. But Huynh actually misses that shot a little bit blind. So having to fall back, reposition themselves. And that will be the raise, which will be Sean close by. Gets the blast pack frag. Going to be able to use the showstopper. Takes down the spike carrier Pure. Now that's going to be another frag. This is just completely collapsed here for the attackers. A little bit of a response back already, but it will be Aaron trying to find another, but completely given away.
Placing swarm grenade.
And this might be the round that Gen G really need in good fashion that we were talking about.
Swarm grenade out.
It is, and he's having some issues here up at Heaven. It is the 4 versus 2. That effort was
Last
absolutely
player standing.
demolished and shut down. And off he goes. So player 1 chiming in. I am the #1 player in the server, and I'm going to prove it with frags, he says. 4-2.
Yeah, and this is the thing that we notice with Gen G, a little bit of a slower start that they have, and then all of a sudden they just start to get the mojo back. And now they put themselves 2 rounds behind. Still going to be a full gun round in terms for exit. No operators in their hands. Instead, they're actually going to go for Phantoms instead of any Vandals, which has always been interesting to me too. I mean, there's always that Phantom Vandal debate between every single player, I'm sure.
I was really stuck on the Phantom for a while. I thought it was a superior weapon, but as time's gone on, I'm finding the Vandal pack's more of a punch, and that immediate more damage that you're going to have, that first shot accuracy, it's crazy. But talking of that, doesn't matter what GMD has. Phantom's going to work for him, and he just, the strafe run. What's he thinking? It works out, though.
Now Exit have gotten mid control, so now they're going to try to push on through and walk through ropes. Sean, a little bit of an off angle on the ramp. The spike going to be in possession of the breach on the attacking side. Still grouped up, so Sean not trying to play a very aggressive, but now going to use the boom bot. And he's going to know at least one person's there, and he might have heard 2 weapons, and that's going to be the flash. Paint cans come in, another flash, so completely blind. That's going to be the Rolling Thunder, just missing Sean, so he isn't stunned by it. But now they're actually going to go for a bit of a fake. Player 1, he's heard it. He might be able to get the right position, but he's fully blind. He's going to get the spray of 1, but that's going to be it. And GMD, he takes down another with the high ground position in the corner with that boost he did earlier on, and all of a sudden, they put
30
themselves
seconds left.
in the advantage situation.
So Aaron, it's deja vu, isn't it? They're back up at Heaven. They're stuck. Looks like they're going to be deported to hell at this rate. 1 player removed is going to be win. The turret is going to have to do massive things here. That's got to be technology being your best friend. 3 versus 1, 13 seconds. There's absolutely nowhere. 11 HP, get out of town. See you later.
Yeah, and the time they burned it a bit too much. And that's such a, being in that B tower is such a hard position because there's so many angles. You can get spot from the stairs, you can get spot in the back of site, you can get spot in the, B main. There's just so many different options that you have to look, or so many different angles that you have to look at, which makes it even more difficult, especially when you're that 1vx situation. But Gen G looking like they've found their groove already.
They most certainly have. And what that groove is playing with their experience, right? You don't want to just play the game of Valorant. Take all that FPS experience, bring it into the server, and you've got to make that sort of custom style. And you've seen it from Sean. You started to see it from players like Player 1. Off angles, lads. The off angles that Sean was playing there enabled him to get that much more information. And when that rotation happened, he was able to pass on that intel. So that is what can be a game changer. Not about popping off and landing crazy one-taps. Not all the time, at least. It's about getting that info.
Yeah, you can even see player one, but look at Huynh actually does go for the shot, but it's on the shot of the drone, so or on the turret, my apologies, but it will actually be now the second shot that's going to matter most because he takes down the spike carrier. I mean, they got the site control barely, but now they're having a lot of problems, and even you can see the breach actually took a little bit of damage from his own aftershock, ran right into it. And now a 5-on-3 situation. Ultimate could be used here. And that will be Aaron to find one, so a little bit of a problem now, trying to look for another. And Gen G, they've now put it back to almost a even playing field, but no, not going to matter. Do we use the ultimate? Do you use it now? I mean, the spike's getting diffused, but no. Huynh going to throw the knife.
There's no way!
And that's going to be the 4-and-4.
Oh, so I thought that was going to happen with the spray down through the spike there, or through the actual build itself. Didn't happen. And Gen G are going to even things out there. 5 versus 5 once more, resetting things for round number 9. And what a time we're having. It's sticking to that pattern, lads. Around for you, around for me. Around for you, Gen G, Exet, just trading, not just players, trading rounds.
Yeah, I mean, that's the piece that we're noticing from Gen G. I mean, like they said, they start a bit slow, and now they've somehow put themselves back to the 4-and-4 situation. 4 in a row for Exit, and now going to be 4 in a row from Gen G. And it will be another full gun round. No saves here on this round. But now you can even see the one thing we're noticing for Exit is that they either fully commit to A or they fully commit to B. There's never a lot of lurk or like a lot of split play, we'll say, pun intended. But right now they are going to be grouped up in B main. We did going to get ready for a few lineups so far, but Gen G, they seem to have the right read. 3 players are really close by.
You should run.
Talking of splitting their opponent, it'd be really nice to see splitting some executions here. We've seen the middle plays, but maybe going for that lurk, the fake to come from Exit, but time should tell if that's to be delivered. Right now, it's going to be Gen G on the defense, and poor GMD, he's taking all the damage at backside. Oh, he's playing twice, maybe 3 times.
Oh, and this off angle could be huge. 1, 2, 3. Could there be 3? No, but it is going to be 2, and that's all that matters because that was the perfect time because he didn't get caught. They thought he was completely out of that spot. Big play from GMD. That might have just put them taking this lead now.
That's exactly what we saw in map number 1. If you go all the way back to Haven, Pure got that mental 3K from that posted up position, and it's going to be repeated again there from GMD and Co. Super stuff, and it's a 4 versus 2.
Yeah, and this is one of the things that's really difficult to play against on the Viper Ultimate because you have to run through this complete cloud of toxicity, but being toxic will be player 1 because you know what? He's going to get that spike defuse and take that lead, and Gen G have now found themselves by the 1 round difference.
And you said it, mate. You said, we need to see this. We need to see individual performance. We need to see these plays, and off you go. Another time, another map. Gen G observing their opponent, if you will, taking in a couple of rounds, saying, okay, that's what you're up to. I'm going to take the fight to you, and off they go.
And this may, you know, it kind of opens up that little bit of a discussion, you know, is Exit, you know, are they getting a little deflated? Is that gas really running out? No juice, nothing. But it is close rounds, still big fights that are coming through. We'll have to wait and see, and Gen G really look like they're taking a full swing of things right now at this moment.
They are. They're taking a full chug of the drank, the caffeinated beverage. Poisoned up is going to be, and poison post, I should say, is going to be Huynh. Look at Pure Raw, look at the speed to get into that position. That's straight down. It's 6 stuff here from all of Exet.
1 enemy remaining.
Or Gen G, I should say.
Okay, all right. Pure is going to be able to find 2 somehow. So now does have an ultimate if he wishes to use it. But both players, they're a little bit split from each other. Huynh going to be back in defender side spawn, just holding the tight angle. Whereas Pure doesn't have the spike close by, but can do a lot of different things with the amount of time he has.
So much time. 50 seconds. 33 HP though. This is not what Clutch Dreams are made of, is it? He takes 1 lick of damage to anything above the chest. Or anything chest above, I should say. It's going to be over and out, and that will be the 3K for player 1. Tripling down. Yes, please and thanks. I'll add that to my stats. Pad them up before the final potential. And it's 6-4. So only a couple of rounds left in this first half. Gen G, We've talked about these turnarounds, and that's got to mess with your head a bit as a player, isn't it? If you're on the side of Exet, you're like, we won first map, we were winning the second, and we lost it, and we were winning the third, and we've started to lose it again. So mind games, lads. I think they're starting to play here.
It really could, and that, you know, that's kind of the thing about how the mental fortitude, like how well you can react in the stages of different tournaments. And right now we are right near the end. We're in the semifinals. Right after this will be the grand finals, and both teams map 3. And now for even exit, they've lost 6 rounds in a row. That's got to affect them.
Oh man, last map too? You've got to be close to tilt. Even if you're not a tilter, every player has that potential.
Wow, my eyes
Dignitas
are
can
down.
get spicy and
Cage
tilted.
triggered.
The Cypher Cam for player 1 is going to come out of mid. He's got the observation. He's got the tag.
Cage triggered.
And they're going for that mid play, as it will see here from Exit. Is that going to be the recipe though? Heaven's been on lockdown when it comes to Gen G. I wouldn't even poke at that.
Calling my bot.
They do have 2 ultimates available, so up here you can see decides to go for it. Brando doesn't need to use it yet. But right now they are grouped up in middle. Just holding, waiting. Still plenty of time to go, but now they're ready to go through. The dark cover going to be blocking in, but that's going to be the tripwire. That is just causing more of a bigger issue, sorry. And player 1 able to fall back. Another chance for Frags. Able to get another, but that's going to be GMD able to help him out. And Hwin takes down the other players. So now, all of a sudden, it's just down to Pure and Gen G. This is looking like smooth sailing. Really no flaws in their game at all at this
Last
point.
round in the
Yeah,
half.
they've sucked the soul out of Exit. They had such a good game in map number 1, and their fight continued through 2. It's even happened in map number 3. But it does reach that point where you hit that brick wall. You're like, I've not got any more plays. I don't know what else I can do to outplay my opponent. That's the brick wall that Exit are coming up against. Are they out of the game? Definitely not out of the game, but it's that mental reflection. What can I do different? Where's that player playing, and how can I make it work? And talking of funds here, I think we should be all in. This is the last round of the half, so not going to be a must-win for Exet, but it would sure help that confidence if they're able to get this last one.
Back to the default setup. So now the one thing we're noticing from Gen G is that they're allowing mid control to be completely up for grabs, but they have the right setups to kind of respond to that. And that's going to be the Killjoy lockdown that's going to be used. You can even see both players are getting close by, and ultimates. Mikkel, all 3 of them have ultimates, and that's going to be the Rolling Thunder. And actually they're going to use it right inside this room, and that's going to be Sean. He's getting a little bit too adventurous, a little bit too aggressive because he gets taken down. And it will be just the lurk of GMD, but the spike still making its advance towards B Tower.
They've really been having overzealous tries and attempts here at Heaven, but it's just not worked out. That one's going to work out for Pura. A flying Phantom Spray. We'll take those. We do. Brandu takes number 2. So it's 4 versus 2. Gen G.
Last player
Cool.
standing.
Cool array here. They really weren't prepared for that Heaven play. It's happened all round long, and or all game long, I should say. Switched it up, and they went back to what was working a little bit before. 7-5, 5 rounds for the attack. Is that enough, lads?
No, it definitely is. I mean, it's a lot closer than what we saw earlier on today in the tournament. 7-5, definitely respectable, sorry, and only a 2-round difference. But really, if they can pick up this pistol in that second, I mean, you're putting yourself right back into a tie game. But we'll have to see. Exit, they have now the defensive side, so things have completely switched over. And I'm curious how they're going to be able to use Weeded's Viper to hold it down. Looks like Weeded actually is going to be playing towards middle. Do they want to put that aggression in middle, or do they actually just want to play a bit more of a standard setup? Because we saw before on Bind a lot of short play or short A pushes, as well as some different plays.
Great question. Is this going to be where Viper makes the difference? You talked of Killjoy, you talked of the Viper use, and as you go up to these different kind of maps and in your semis, you've got to try and do something to keep your opponent and catch him off guard. So Viper could be that, and so could Killjoy. There's double stack of them. Jet pressing the issue, and Hwin's not going to be able to win that engagement to 2 versus 1, and why would he expect to there? There's no reason to.
And look at this, they're just going to keep on pushing. So now they're just going to push back into middle. So Gen G, they don't really have a lot of control. But look at this, Sean, a little bit of a surprise. He finds the back of the breach, and now a little bit pinned in middle. But both Pure and Weeded, they're still going to hold mailroom. But the spike is now making its way through A sewers. A little bit of a different setup, and actually Sean does fall. They wanted him to stay alive a little bit longer, but now you can see it's going to be GMD and Mikkel, the last two remaining members, and they should be able to get this spike down. But this lurk of GMD, this is a big risky play because he's not able to be with his teammate for those trades.
Give him props though, lads. Those two plays, they're so lit. They're so lit. Even a classic, that could get the job done there.
30 seconds
One
left.
frag. If he could even this out to a 2-on-2, this could be winnable. Straight up.
Cover going out.
Yeah, there's a lot of pressure now. And I mean, luckily GMD is able to get close enough. Going to be on a tower. We did going to be right on the other side of him. He's very lit, so a bit of a burst fire will do, and that is exactly what is in store. And it's just all down to Mikkel. So he has no utility left. He has a fault line in 9 seconds, but at this point, he just needs to frag out, and he's able to get the one. They're playing a one-on-one duel for some reason, and it might be Mikkel to take this over. Reload comes in. Oh my goodness. Around we go, but that's going to be Mikkel to take him down with a triple. And Gen G keep this lead going. Very strong.
You cannot be serious, Laz. You cannot be serious. That lurk. We talked of it. If he's able to land one, it's doable. He lands the one. He isn't able to grab the second. 2 versus 1. He's going to come up against Mikkel. No util used. Pure aim. And that's what we did discuss earlier on, isn't it? Our ability is something that shrouds your vision, no pun intended, for your ability to pop off. And right now, Gen G, they're not focused on abilities. They're focused on where their crosshair placement is and how many heads they're going to be clicking. 8-5's the score. Gen G, they're looking to be running away.
And now the defensive players, they're actually going to be grouping up into middle. So what they're doing is they're giving up both sites. They're not having any other players going to be that anchor. And this is what you can do. I mean, in this kind of a situation, you have just classics. You have one frenzy. So go for a risky play. Go for a stack. See if you can catch these players off guard. And right now for the attackers, they're just trying to get information. They're just trying to look, what can they fish out? Is there any tell at all what the defense are doing? And right now, we can see Quinn and also player 1. They're going to be the ones that are close by. They've already crossed through. They know no utility's been used yet. But you can already see the defense. Look at this. They're creeping through. They're getting closer and closer.
This is scary stuff here for Exet. Where are the players? You can't be giving up sight this late in the game. I understand the play, but there's so many fast executes that have come through from Gen G. To be fair, they have been switching it up, but when they do go fast, we've got the Nikes on there right into sight, and these spray downs, Gen G looking to lock this one in.
Yeah, and these are, you know, the pistol rounds, or the second round when there no money's being spent. You really are just trying to do some economy damage as much as possible. And right now you can just see it. I mean, Gen G, they're being a bit cautious on this push, but they are going to be able to easily pick that up and put themselves at 9-5. So we should see the gun round come through from Exit. Not enough clearly for an op, of course, but it allows them to get the standard purchase, the armor they need, the utility they need. And this could be a telling round, because if they can pick this up with this, again, just puts us in that conversation of going the distance. But if Gen G can pull this through on a bonus round,
Yes.
this is going to be scary.
More than just a bonus, make it through to the final. That's the creme de la creme. That's where you're aiming for. And you're talking a 9-5, Laz. It's been like a 9-5 all weekend. It's been a day job for all of these players in the tournament, in this server, specifically right now. They play Valorant all weekend long, and they do not want it to go to waste. Despite going right into sight, Laz, no time wasted. They're there. They teleported there.
Yeah, they completely went for a bit of a playbook that we saw in the first half, so they went just for a full push. And look at this, Sean. No fear whatsoever. He's going to be able to pick up that first frag, but again, that's good information. So now he's aware of one of those players are. And both, look at this. Oh my goodness, this is a bit of a trap. Talk about crossfire. This is going to be the flash that comes in. All players are flashed, but they should immediately have a trade. Oh my goodness. Oh no, the tripwire. That's just ruthless.
Triple trade with a tripwire. Come on now.
One enemy remaining.
Okay, we did's going to be able to find 2, making it 3. What on earth? How did that happen?
How did the reverse sweep come out of that? That doesn't make any sense at all.
I'm not sure. You know, I'm not sure. I'm a little bit lost, but
Can we have a moment? Can we have a moment in the casting desk? Need to assess that one.
I'm just gonna go
Let's
do a
check that
lap
one
really quick.
That's proper spicy. If you're on the side of Exet, I don't think even his team were expecting that one. They couldn't be.
Yeah, an unbelievable round from We Did. That's a triple frag. So now putting them back to 9-6. But that is, like I said, this is the bonus round. So a full gun round will be commenced now from Gen G. We Did going to be using the ultimate from the Viper. And actually a bit more aggression, and that's going to be the showstopper. And that's going to be go completely to waste, completely in the dumps. And now put themselves back into 4-4. But that's an ultimate that's burned, and you don't ever want to lose that showstopper at all.
Oh, not the showstopper, not since the nerf, lads. It takes ages to get that. I think it's 2 extra orbs, isn't it? It took since it used to, and with that out of the picture now, that's putting Gen G a duelist. They're out of a duelist ult. It's massive.
Spike planted.
We Did going to be top of the A tower, just going to spam. Actually does a little bit of damage against Quinn. The flash comes in, so going to be completely blind. And that's going to be the breach ultimate that's going to be used. Player 1 finding 1, and now all of a sudden it's just down to 1, fully stunned, completely stuck inside of screens. Now this is all about survival mode. Just need to get out of here. Where's the exit? I need the door.
SOS. Dusted. 1 exit frag will do though. 2 players lit, but they're having none of it, mate. They're out, and I'm not too sure if that's going to be the plan for the last remaining player of Exet. A bunny hopping, a bouncing. From the site, he'll be bouncing as well, keeping that Phantom in the realm of Valorant just for another round longer. Double figures. Could this be that last straw that breaks the camel's back, lads? We've talked of double figures all weekend long, but double figures in the semi-final is a completely different vibe, bro. Completely different vibe. You're going to be feeling a bit scared at this point if you're Exet.
No, you really are. And I mean, now we saw this before map number 2, and I think it was Exit that were on the double-digit rounds. So we'll have to see, can they make the claw back? Can they do exactly what Gen G did on map number 2? But right now, Gen G look like they've kind of figured out what they want in their game plan, and their executions so far are looking very crisp and superb. But we'll have to wait and see. And now even they're switching up the plan on the defensive side. We Did going to be inside of ropes, but it looks like they're actually backtailing a little bit in the jet. And that's just going to be in the back. That's Pure. Does have the knives out. Flashes come in. Going to be fully blind. Oh, it's going to be about the timing, but that's going to be Sean putting the Spectre. Makes it. Makes the connection. Finds the first opening duel.
That's going to be enough to breach into the site there. No pun intended. Well, it will be with the frag coming in. Aaron getting removed as well. 5 versus 3. Make that the 3 versus 3. These quick turnarounds. Absolutely ludicrous. And it's going to be ludicrous round to continue. 3 on 3.
That's going to be the wall that's now going to be used, so it allows a little bit more room for them to push on through. A little bit of a gap. We Did surviving by the skin of his teeth, going to get taken down, and it's just all into a 1-on-3 situation. No utility available. That's going to be 1, but that's going to be that, and GMD takes him down, and now we're at an 11-6 game, and I don't think the money situation right now is good for Exit.
Dire straits, man. At best, they're going to have a Spectre. I think that's going to be, inverted commas, the full buy. That's a full buy in my book, but we're not going to talk about my rank, but it's nothing close to these guys' rank. They are able to put those weapons to use, though, lads. You want to take the meme away and really focus on the point at hand. These players, they know how to use the Sheriff. They know to one-tap. They know how to work with the Spectre and put it to good use. So, these are the times where you've really got to prove how much of a Radiant you are in the semi-final. 11-6, 5 rounds between it, and I believe that is the biggest gap we've seen so far in this game. If this is to continue, Gen G, GG for the 3rd map and going into the finals. But for Exet, they've got every reason to win this. Literally every reason. They're the underdogs by name, statistically, and put on a damn good show so far. Hate to see him go out on a bit of a blowout, but time shall tell.
Yeah, and really the big question is, what does Exit have to offer? I mean, they're, like you said, they have limited resources to use, so, and they're down. And now for a time to strike, and it absolutely will have to be any moment now, because we're talking about a 2-round difference that allows Gen G to take this series 2-1. But speaking of that, I mean, it will be Aaron just going to be by himself. Going to just allow the spray, takes away the ultimate that is away from Quinn, but the trades come back and forth. Now the spike has made its way, has advanced the site. Mikkel, should be able to. No, the sheriff in town picking up 2, and all of a sudden it's just down to player 1. But you know what? It's gonna be for Exit, and that's what we were talking about. You need to offer something, and that's gonna be the sheriffs.
Who's the sheriff in town? Excess, the sheriff in town. They got a whole crew. Got a whole crew of sheriffs just hanging out and popping off for the one taps. Love to see it, and you also love to see the caster's blessing. Approved. We love the one taps, Laz. All we do.
Just had to run and do a lap. Apparently, that I couldn't even believe it. I mean, you were saying it.
Walk
You know,
it
these
off,
guys,
walk it off.
they know how to use sheriffs, right? I mean, we're talking about high level, and I mean that's exactly why. And all of a sudden, Gen G, they just threw that round away.
Yeah, that was in the recycling. They had the goods, and they're like, whoa, let's put this back into the drawing board and see what we can do. 5 versus 5, 7-11. I sure hope they've topped up on their beverages from 7-Eleven, getting jacked up for this one, or wherever they've been getting them from. This is ridiculous, Laz.
Completely ludicrous. And now the attackers getting a lot of ground. Quinn already up into mailroom, and it will be weeded just on the other side of the wall. Very close by from each other. I don't know if he actually spotted it. We'll have to wait and see, but now that will be the... I think he did. I would imagine he did. But now Weeded actually going to take back and go in towards A tower. And the spike will now advance itself towards B tower close by. Going to be both Brando and the Jet close into this B site with the breach just on the other side with the Paul Flash potentially.
30 seconds left.
I think that's it. They're ready for it. Grabbing 1, traded out for the 2, and it's back to the 4 and 4. Even playing field right up until this point. It's the 4 versus 3. Shadows. Gen G looking to get this to match point here.
Out of charges.
And they've been able to pick up some weapons, so now fully equipped, ready to go. Will be now trades, and it will be Sean. Can he find them at the right time? He's able to find 1, but no, Weeded. He's put himself in a 1-on-1 situation, but player 1, oh no, he's got the candy cane. This is not the time to be having a season's greeting, but that's going to be for Weeded. Oh my goodness. The Viper.
He wanted a snack, mate. He's feeling those Xmas vibes. Oh, candy cane now? No, not time for a sugar rush. Save it for next round. Triple coming there from We Did, and the Christmas greetings coming in kind from Xset as well. Howdy, partner. Happy holidays. 11-8 to score 3 rounds. That gap's being closed, lads. It wasn't 5 between them, and Xset, they're not going out with without a punch to the stomach or 2 for Gen G.
Yeah, and this is the thing, like they just keep on swinging. Both these teams have just shown resilience the entire best of 3. And now it's Weeded, or no, sorry, not Weeded, it's now Exit that is really just taking that whole momentum that we saw from map number 2 and being down to the numbers and just trying to claw back rounds and trying to put it back to an even game.
Even, Stephen, would be ideal for Xset, and you saw that from Gen G in the previous matchup. Clambering their way to that comeback, and right now, Xset, it is all on you. What's it going to be? Do see the Viper's Pit from We Did, trying to get that control and just getting an idea of, okay, I can stop as many players as possible coming through mids, but where else are they going to go? That's on his teammates. Look at the toxic screen too. We Did is backing off and keeping in the lockdown of mid.
So now it will be Gen G. The Execute is here, and they're going to be able to take down Aaron, the only player that's in the site. Long rotate ahead here for the defensive players. Going to be able to get the spike down. Do they want to go for the aggression? Mikkel able to pick up a Phantom now. Does have armor. Doesn't have the ultimate he needs, but the fault line. The fault line is going to be able to push them back a little bit. Doing a little bit of a stun. And now that's going to be the Raze ult that's going to be used from Sean, and it's just a matter of time. You need to pop it, and it's going to be now with no double, making it more. And that's the showstopper, because now the show is over here for Exit. Is now Gen G have put themselves on match point and series point.
That's a way to get to match point, isn't it? Hey, showstopper incoming. Bam. Taking out 2 frags and 2 players for the frags, I should say. 12-8 match point, and it's going to actually be series point here for Gen G and for Exet. If Gen G are able to get that 13th, it's over and out. They're on their way to the finals, competing for that 10K.
Let's
Exet,
start this party.
they're going to be sent home packing. Probably at home already. Obviously, it's COVID, playing from your computers at home most likely, but they're not going to be making their way to the final. That's what counts. Potential at least. What's it going to be?
A lot of hesitation now from Gen G. Playing it very, very safe. We did, playing the same position in ropes. Hanging out, one will be the loneliest number. And now they've been able to creep on through. Gonna push on through mailroom. Pierre just on the other side of the stairs, but will be the dark cover. But O has to get out of that position, but is gonna try to fight again, doing a lot of damage. But it will be Aaron getting ready to use the lockdown. So Gen G, they can force the plant, but then they're gonna have to run away completely, or they need to go for this fight. 6 seconds remaining. So instead, they are able to just get on the outside of it, and it actually will get destroyed, so it doesn't even matter at this point. The glimpse of hope that came through will be deactivated.
It's gone, hasn't it? Deactivated just like the lockdown. And lockdown, I was wondering when it's going to come into play. Good effort on that, but the counter, too strong from Gen G. Too strong indeed. 5 versus 5.
Out of charges.
Spray down coming through. It's down to 2 players here. The comeback is possible. 3 versus 2.
Oh my goodness, and now Brando finds another. Sean able to find the 3 priest, but that's going to be player 1 to put the nail to the coffin. The threat is eliminated, and we are going to be seeing Gen G move on here in the tournament.
GG for Gen G and for Exet. They're taking it all the way for this best of 3 in the semi-finals. What a set of games. No aces, but I think we lost track how many 4Ks and 3Ks there were, lads. Sick individual performances, and that's what you call a semi-final.
Wow, wow, wow. All the way to the wire. Map number 3, 13-8, and a phenomenal performance from Sean. Outstanding. And I mean, congratulations to Gen G. I mean, really excited to see them in the tournament and how well they've been doing so far. And look at them. I mean, they got back their groove. They got back and taking it 2-1. It was looking a little bit dire on map number 2, but you know what? They came out swinging.
Looking a bit sketchy, but it made for a sick watch, didn't it? It was an absolute pleasure, lads. I'm going to get down straight to nitty-gritty, man. We've had a sick weekend, haven't we?
Yeah, we really have. And again, we want to give a big hats off to the Knights, Pittsburgh Knights, of course, for having us here. And thank you so much to the viewers for watching. It really does mean a lot. This is just our stream channel that we use when we can for community streams. So if you did enjoy yourself, please throw a follow. Our tags are just above. As you can see, Laz_TV with Cuppa Frag as well. This is our community stream that we like to use, but hopefully we will see more of you in the future. And any final words from you, Cuppa?
Take everything you've learned from this tournament, put it into your Valorant plays, and see how far you can get. I know I will be. Hope you've had a good time. Please do feel free to chuck us a follow. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and until next time, best of luck to Gen G and whoever they're taking the final. Before we go, lads, do we know who is going to be going to the final? Do we have any final info just to give the viewers before we let them go?
I haven't actually seen it yet, but I think it is going to be on the spike. But I can just quickly
just to catch your.
Oh, gonna break
before we go, just to see.
Gonna break everything. So no, I'm not gonna look actually. So
okay,
I will
problem.
be progressing on.
Be.
Yeah, I don't want to touch it. It's a pretty janky production client we got here, which is me. But anyways, thank you so much everybody for tuning in, and happy holidays, of course. Make sure you enjoy yourselves for the end of the 2020 year, getting closer and closer. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you soon.
See you in 2021.